totally different looking offense versus what we saw last year because of John Reese Plumlee at quarterback, the Ole Miss transfer. He's so dynamic with his ability to run the football and throw it. He's got a lot of weapons around him. Isaiah Bauer at running back, Johnny Richardson, Javon Baker, the transfer receiver from Alabama, already looks like their best receiver. They play fast. They can score quickly. And I think this game against Louisville, is their best non-conference matchup of the year. So a chance for UCF to make a statement at the bounce.
Louisville not looking good last week against Syracuse. A big one for Satterfield and the Cardinals. Joey, big picture now, week 2. Week 1, brilliant. Week 2, what has your eye?
It was great. We get a chance to see USC once again. Lincoln Riley had a great debut. Defense was terrific. They played Stanford, which should be a much better test. Tennessee at Pitt could be a great game. Hopefully, very high-scoring game. It was a great game last week.
Yeah.
But then the best game of the weekend might be number 9 Baylor at number 21 BYU. And BYU is favored in this game. That might be the best game. It's a late one, so stay up with us.
That's what I love. 10:15 Eastern.
Oh, we'll be awake.
Get
Got your halftime needs, as we always do. Potentially a fill. We are the Village people on Saturdays as well. The other part of the Week 2 lineup, the marquee showdown. Every pregame show in the country is going to be there. Alabama headed to Texas.
And this is an Alabama team that once again came out looking like they were on fire in mid-season form against a Texas team with Quinn Ewers that didn't look comfortable a lot in the pocket in this game, but they found a way to get a win, put up big numbers. Let's see what the Alabama defense gives the young quarterback.
What does Sark have, Kirk Herbstreit?
One thing we know for sure, Bryce Young and Alabama, they're going to get theirs. They're going to score points. I think the big question for me in this game is, can Quinn Ewers, the highly touted quarterback in the Texas offense, stay up with what Alabama will do? Now, this is his opportunity, and let's face it, this is a tall task for a young quarterback to not just go up against Will Anderson and the pass rush of Dallas Turner, but on the back end. Is Alabama going to manipulate things? Are they going to show him one look in pre-snap, go to another? Of course they are. How will he handle that? And how will Sark, head coach and play caller, put him in a position to have success in getting the ball out of his hands quickly? To me, a big key in this game.
Herb, thank you. Joey touched on it a minute ago. Baylor BYU, this is a fun one out west.
I'm with Galloway. This could be one of the most physical football games we see all year. Both teams pride themselves on the ability to run the football, and Baylor, a dark horse pick to make the college football playoff. What a chance to impress the committee.
Give me a full dose of Quick Kesnick breaking down this good one.
We're in Provo, Utah. We're on Saturday night under a full moon. The only game of the weekend with 2 ranked opponents. It's BYU hosting Baylor. A lot of energy and excitement here at LaVell Edwards Stadium. These two teams met last year in Waco. I covered the game, and let me tell you, it was a bloodbath. BYU got pushed around. Baylor won all the physical contests in that game. They ran for over 300 yards. So this game this year means revenge for BYU. It also means a statement game because the Cougars are entering the Big 12 next season, and Baylor, they are the defending Big 12 champs. Baylor's got a youthful lineup, a lot of new faces. BYU has some injury questions at the wide receiver position. Gunnar Romney didn't play last week. Puka Nacua was outstanding, but he left the game and left the stadium on crutches and in a walking boot. Do those guys play? We find out on Saturday night under a full moon.
Quentin, thank you. First test for Lincoln Riley. Can Stanford put up a fight in this one, primetime ABC?
How about Lincoln Riley's team playing great defense last week? The defense accounted for 28 points, including 3 pick sixes. Now, this is a much better team than Stanford that they're facing this week. But after Utah goes on the road and loses to Florida, is USC the favorite in the Pac-12?
Let's find out what Holly Rowe thinks.
Stanford quarterback Tanner McKee grew up a USC football fan. He's been to 25, 30 games at the Coliseum. So last year, in his first career start, he beat the Trojans in the Coliseum. This year, he's more seasoned and experienced. He's being projected as one of the top draft picks coming out of college in the NFL. And at 6'6".
There's always a chance, and that's how Nick Saban will have his team prepared to play.
I believe Texas is better, and because of the players you recruited, Coach, I believe that. And they're going to get better. But here's the thing. Cheerleaders, they jump higher in the first quarter. The band, they played louder in the first quarter. I think with 4 quarters, though, because of Bryce Young and company. Yeah. Did y'all hear what Bryce Young said after the game? I was impressed. He's always been cool under the pressure, but he said, I've got to get better. I've got to improve. I like a quarterback that doesn't – he had 5 touchdowns now in the first half. I got to get better. That's what it's about to me.
Okay. Another future conference matchup sees 9th-ranked Baylor visit number 21 BYU. The Bears looked great a week ago, but get a hungry Cougars team on Saturday. Could this possibly be an upset, Tom?
Yeah.
It could, certainly. I think Baylor, Dave Aranda's done a great job. I went to college with Dave Aranda. I've known him for 25 years. So he has done a phenomenal job at Baylor. But they have lost some players. And from a really, really, really good football team that last year that gelled and played well at the right time. And BYU's, they're a top 25 team themselves. So, yes, this is a chance for BYU to make a statement this season.
Coach?
When you play BYU, you always seem like you're playing a little older team. Guys are a little bit older. You are. What, they're 24, 25 years of age? And so there's some maturity there. But when you look at Jaron Hall, to me, boy, he looked good for the first game now. He stood in there tall. They protected him well. You see a back shoulder throw right here. He made all the throws. And the defense rallied to the football and played real physical.
I think that's the key to this is really the defense and along the line of scrimmage. That's the biggest difference I think in Baylor as Dave Aranda has been there, seeing the difference in a Dave Aranda coach team. They are tougher along the line.
Absolutely.
They are more physical.
Absolutely.
And that's the biggest difference. They've gotten better each year on defense, and they lost a few people, but dare I say, these are more of Dave Aranda's guys that he recruited and developed coming up. So the guys that are stepping up and they're reloading with, they're all Dave Aranda guys that are going to hit people on defense.
All right, quick hitters. 3 more games we want to touch.
Fired up.
Yeah, me too. Kevin always makes us want to run through a brick wall. Coach, we're going to start with you. Top 25 matchup, Tennessee and Pitt.
Tennessee, Hendon Hooker, guys. This guy, to me, has gotten better and better. But Pittsburgh's on a roll, too. Keaton Slovis. You got 2 good quarterbacks to watch on both sides of the ball, and both these teams are physical.
Okay, meantime, in that one, 3:30 between 24th-ranked Tennessee and 17th-ranked Pitt. Wake Forest gets Sam Hartman back under center against Vandy, Kevin.
Well, you just said it. Look, last week, against VMI, a good win. No Sam Hartman, no problem. But he's back, okay? That guy who makes everything go for this team is back in the lineup. But on the other side of the ball, there's a special player at quarterback as well, Mike Wright. Watch out for him at Vandy.
Okay, Texas A&M, a sluggish win a week ago. They get an Appalachian State team that nearly shot North Carolina last week, Tom.
Yeah, I wouldn't say sluggish. Sam Houston State's, one of the perennial FCS programs. And it's a bit of a double-edged sword for Appalachian State. They know how well they played against North Carolina, and they know they're good enough to win this game. But did they empty the tank too much against North Carolina? Are they healthy? Are they rested? Can they handle going on the road after such a grueling game against North Carolina? So, yes, they are good enough to win. We'll see if they are deep enough to be able to rotate their players in because of, the travel and the energy they exerted in the previous week.
All right, cannot wait for that one. Yeah.
Can't talk about Sam Houston like that.
It's
That's like talking about Murray State.
I've spent 4 great years in Huntsville, Texas, by the way, bro.
I was just going to say he's learning quickly from these 2 guys that if you don't agree with the host, it's free game to come right back. He's a quick learner. Coming up, top of the hour, George Helani and Boise State looking for their first win of the year as they get set to take on New Mexico here on CBS Sports Network. More to come on Inside College Football, presented by Trico Wiper Blades.
Old Trapper Beefs. One-upping.
I'm a big Old Trapper fan. Not bigger than me. I love Old Trapper. I love how tender it is. Don't forget the wood smoke flavor.
What about the clear bag?
That shows you exactly what you're getting. Savory beef. Quality ingredients. I'm their biggest fan.
Old Trapper, what's your beef?
Will you sign my bag and my tattoo?
Let me be direct. Some people are paying more than double for teeth straightening with Invisalign.
Be prepared for anything.
Serve pros like it never even happened.
Since being the first to make wipers over a century ago, Trico has protected drivers in all kinds of weather. Torrential downpours, gale force winds, wintry blasts, even when it's raining cats and dogs. Hey, who came up with that phrase anyway? Just imagine if it actually started... All right. No matter what the conditions, Trico wipers maintain maximum windshield contact for safe, clear driving visibility. Be prepared for whatever Mother Nature throws at you with
heavy-duty pulling power to conquer the high road or the off-road. the GMC Sierra Heavy Duty. Premium and capable. Sierra Heavy Duty models are arriving weekly at your local GMC dealers. Available for immediate delivery with 0% financing.
Did you know that Febreze Airfix uses 100% natural propellant? Cheaper aerosols use artificial propellants. That's why Febreze works differently. Plus, it eliminates odors with a water-based formula and no dyes. For freshness you'll enjoy.
For your most brilliant smile, Crest has you covered.
Nice smile, Brad. Nice. Thanks.
Crest 3D White, 100% more stain removal. Crest, the #1 toothpaste brand in America.
When do you spray Febreze Air?
After every flush.
In my kitchen. Febreze tackles my toughest odors.
After vacuuming, because fresh means clean.
I spray every chance I get. Starts working instantly to freshen any room. Febreze Air.
New York.
Meeting in the community room tomorrow night at 7:30. You gonna be there?
Hell no.
If you do your job, I got your backs.
Welcome to East New York.
Welcome back. New Mexico with a blowout win a week ago over Maine and have a chance to improve to 2-0 for the second straight season as they host Boise State. Amanda Guerra caught up with the Lobos coach earlier today.
We're here with Coach Gonzalez coming off the first shutout win for New Mexico since 2015. You won't go as far as to say tonight is a big game, but it's a game for opportunity. Why is that?
Well, it's a huge opportunity for our program. We've come, I mean, from when I first got here, we had to change a lot of things, and it wasn't because there was a bad culture. It was just starting over. It's rebuilding. And with COVID and everything, we've had some challenges like everybody else. So since the January of 22, it's been normal football. And it's a great opportunity for our football team to come out and compete against the perennial #1 pick on our side. So it's a great opportunity for our city, for our fans. If we don't get the result we want, it doesn't mean that the season's over. So if you build it up too much, I mean, you can destroy a lot of things, and we're not about that. We're about knocking down doors and going one step up and keep going.
Let's talk about Nate Jones. We're going to get to see him for the first time since his freshman year back in 2020. Spent last season working his way back onto this team. What has this week been like for him, and what are you expecting from him tonight?
I'm expecting him to be hungry. I mean, he's wanted to play for the better part of a year and a half now, and he didn't get to last week. But all that stuff is behind us, and he's done everything that I've asked him to do. He's earned his way back in the good graces on this team, so I'm excited to see what he can do tonight. He's a really good football player.
Coach, good luck. Have fun.
Thank you. Good luck to you guys. Have fun. Go Lobos.
Lobos. Oh, we appreciate that. Should be a good one tonight. And there's another Mountain West contender with a big matchup this weekend. His Air Force is going to host Colorado on Saturday, 3:30 Eastern on CBS. The Falcons had a field day a week ago, rushing for nearly 600 yards against Northern Iowa. Now they face a Buffalo's defense that gave up 275 on the ground in their opener. Coach?
Air Force, how about this? 582 yards now, guys. That's right, 582 yards. That's 35 minutes of ball possession. And just hand the ball to Brad Roberts. He had over 100 yards. And if you hadn't seen this quarterback play, Hazik Daniels, this guy is outstanding, athletic, knows how to run the triple option, and throws just well enough to beat you in that area as well.
Okay, some more Mountain West action. Meantime, Saturday here on CBS Sports Network is Fresno State and Oregon State cap a quadruple header. You're going to want to keep your eyes on Bulldogs quarterback Jay Kaner. He was phenomenal a week ago, throwing for 377 and 2 touchdowns. Tom.
Yeah, what a great slate of games. But I'm a huge Fresno State fan. My wife, Michelle, grew up just outside of Fresno. Some of her siblings went to Fresno State. We own a home in Fresno. Wow. So I am a huge Fresno State fan. I'm really excited about Jay Kaner and what he did in the first game, and excited to see him in the second game.
How about Oregon State, though, Kevin?
Well, just I don't want to bury that. We love some Mountain West football around here, so I'm with you on that. Oregon State
Bulldogs.
Oregon State's defense, look, they were number 5 in the conference last year, and what a boost for the overall turnover margin to start the season. I mean, just gritty and aggressive all over the field and just putting hats on balls and separating the balls from the ball carriers. It was a thing of beauty. And, well, not if you're a Boise State fan, but if you're a Beaver it was a great outing for their defense.
So they're going to have an opportunity to start the season with a couple of wins over Mountain West teams. We'll see how that one shakes out. If Tom has anything to say about it, it's probably going to be Fresno State. Miles Kendrick kicked off his Lobos career in style, throwing for 2 scores in a 41-0 win over Maine a week ago. He's looking to duplicate that performance against Boise State tonight as New Mexico is set to host the Broncos. Final thoughts on the game after the break.
Holy Dr. Pepper. On Season 5 of Fansville, college football is back, and it's total chaos.
The conference lines are being redrawn, and Fansville's being ripped apart.
And nothing
Sorry, Logan, you live in tech country now. But I hate tech!
will ever be the same.
Schools are changing conferences! Players are changing schools! What happened to tradition?
So hold on to your Dr. Pepper.
That's called an off tackle. That's where the running back runs.
I know what it is. Did you just fansplain me?
I'm sorry. I was out of bounds. That's where a player steps back.
I don't even know you anymore.
We're gonna miss a kickoff!
I can't find the game.
Come on down to Fansville Foam Finger Warehouse. We'll get you fitted for the perfect foam finger.
How many NIL deals does Bryce Young have?
And there's East Coast teams on the West Coast, there's West Coast teams in the Midwest.
It's just too much change. What's next? Games in the metaverse? Robot coaches?
Honey, let me get you a Dr. Pepper. So you want Dr. Pepper, Diet Dr. Pepper, Dr. Pepper Cherry, Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar, Dr. Pepper and Cream Soda?
Dr. Pepper, the one fans deserve.
What was that?
Nothing.
Gorilla Super Glue. Brush for edge-to-edge coverage and nozzle for precise application all in one. For the toughest jobs on planet Earth.
At Navy Federal Credit Union, it all starts with members like you. Because we were founded as a not-for-profit with a mission dedicated to your well-being, with everyday banking tools and loans, all backed by 24/7 support. The kind of support that comes from being a proud partner within your community. Because when you're a member, it all starts and ends with you. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission.
This is Inside College Football.
With you for the next 2 hours,
where you'll get out-of-the-box takes.
I have the flow.
And up-to-the-minute news.
He just explained it to you.
We break down everything from the gridiron and beyond. Inside College Football on CBS Sports Network.
One other game in action tonight. Louisville opened a loss against Syracuse. Looking to bounce back at UCF.
First and goal from the 7. Tyon Evans straight up the gut for an easy score. Louisville leads 7-0. First quarter still. Second and goal from the 2. Isaiah Bowser takes the snap from the Wildcat and walks in. Game tied up 7-all. Second quarter. First and goal from the 3. And Bowser again from the same formation punches it in. UCF leads 14-7.
Late in the first half, they do have that touchdown lead, looking to start 2-0. John Rice Plumlee, you got to watch, 9 of 16, 62 yards through the air, 60 on the ground. Malik Cunningham, 7 of 10. Quick final thought on Boise State, New Mexico, Tom.
Yeah, I think New Mexico's got to run the football. That's who they are, and they've got to let the quarterback manage the game, not ask him to do too much.
Coach?
I'm anxious to see which quarterback's going to play for Boise State.
And because of that, man, the defense, they got to prepare for 2 guys. New Mexico's got a tall order to fill on defense.
All right, Chris Lewis, Danny Cannell, Amanda Guerra on the call. Enjoy the game. We'll see you right back here at halftime.
Mountain West Conference opener on a Friday night in the land of enchantment. College football on CBS Sports Network, presented by Geico. Preseason Mountain Division favorite Boise State against the up-and-coming New Mexico Lobos. With Danny Cannell, Chris Lewis here with you. Amanda Guerra will be with us in just a minute. Week 2 of the college football season, always fascinating. What about week 1 is for real?
All right, Chris, let's do a vibe check, all right? We got Boise State, who's coming off their worst season in 20 years. They just come off their worst week 1 performance in the last decade.
Wow.
They're panicking a little bit. They want to bounce back, try to erase that from their memory. Then you got New Mexico trying to rekindle a program that's been struggling the last couple of years. They're coming off their best performance in 10 years. They bring in all this positive mojo. So you have these two opposing forces that we're going to see on display tonight and see which one can come out feeling the best.
Well, let's start on that worst performance that you mentioned about Boise State. A night to forget, and a night to forget for Hank Bachmeier. The 4-year starting quarterback for Boise State didn't make it until the second half. Turned it over 3 times in 6 possessions. Taylon Green replaced him, finished out the game, the freshman. After the game, Andy Avalos, the head coach, said the competition is on for the starting quarterback spot. Before the game announced Hank Bachmeier is still the guy.
It was perplexing to watch Hank Bachmeier play against Oregon State. He was rattled. He did not look comfortable. 2 interceptions. He put it on the ground once. It was so bad, they said, you have to earn your job back. And this is a player who's played a lot of football for Boise State. They decided to go with the veteran. But the most important thing, aside from the quarterback, is going to be the guy toting the rock for the Boise State Broncos. And this offense goes through George Holani. They're 7-0 when he rushes for over 100 yards. That's a number to keep an eye on tonight. I think they're going to want to establish him to take some of the pressure off Hank Bachmeier, get him the ball, get him some comfortable, easy throws, screen passes, but most importantly, establish the line of scrimmage. But the bad news is he was shut down last week as well, as this entire Boise State team was. Andy Avalos, we'll see if he can get this thing going in the right direction. Starting to get a little bit antsy there at Boise.
Well, Danny, you talked about the good feelings on the side of New Mexico. Now, I know it was against an FCS team in Maine, but 41-0 is 41-0. First shutout since 2015, my favorite stat. They scored 21 points in the second quarter of that game. That was more than they scored in any of the last 10 games from a season ago. And they're slated to get a boost in the lineup. For more on that, we go to the sidelines. First time in the game, Amanda Guerra.
Hey guys, yeah, this entire New Mexico team is so excited tonight because this is the first time we are going to see running back Nate Jones since his freshman year back in 2020. After that season, he started to have a couple issues. It got so bad, he was eventually suspended, and coach said, Nate, you might want to find a new home. Well, Jones did that. He entered the portal. He went back home. Well, last July, he called coach and said, Coach, I have made a huge mistake. I want to come back. Coach Gonzalez said he'd leave it up to the seniors. They said yes, but coach said one condition. Nate Jones, you're going to have to sit out the entirety of last season, earn your way back onto this team. He did just that, had one small slip up, which is why we didn't see him last game. But after that game last week, he pulled coach inside and said, Coach, I am so happy to be here. I will never put you in that position again. And they are excited to see him play tonight.
Good stuff, Amanda. Nate Jones back for New Mexico. Warm night, 86 degrees, slight wind, a red out here in Albuquerque. And for the first time in 49 years, red helmets as a part of the red out.
I like the look. I think it's pretty fresh. The players absolutely love it.
Underway in Albuquerque for the Mountain West Conference opener. And this is Luke Whitesong on the return for the Lobos. Gets across the 20, shy of the 25 before being bumped out of bounds. Miles Kendrick, the Kansas transfer at quarterback.
Yeah, he came in. He's had a little bit of a journeyman career, but we're seeing this all over college football. He found a place that he feels like he has an opportunity to help be a part of this turnaround process. Nice game last week. He did talk to us yesterday about cleaning up the interceptions. He had 2 of them against Maine. Other than that, he was pretty close to perfect.
That completion percentage, best by a New Mexico player since 2000, minimum 15 attempts. From the 22. Kendrick off play action, pressured and dropped. Dimitri Washington came flying in with the help of George Tarlis, and Boise State gets a sack on the first snap.
You know, Chris, there's one thing when your offense is struggling, like Boise State's has, the defense can set a tone to get the ball back in good field position. Miles Kendrick never really had a chance. You saw Tarlis coming off the edge there, and just, you know, you've got Greg Brown, number 74, stepping in his first start. The starting right tackle, DJ Wingfield, had a little procedure done, so he's been out. So you're dealing with a backup there at right tackle, a matchup to watch out for.
Second down and long. And off to Nate Jones, and he's swallowed up. So Boise State's defense strong on the first 2 plays. Here's the New Mexico offense. Mentioned Nate Jones being back and Greg Brown the second in the starting lineup at tackle.
Yeah, that's the one change that you're seeing on that offensive line. Number 74 on the right side of your screen. And then wide receiver number 15, Luke Wysong. He's a player that bulked up. He really feels like he might be the emotional leader of this offense that's not Miles Kendrick. We saw him on the kickoff return early. He's going to get a lot of touches tonight for the Lobos.
Well, on third downs a week ago, they were great, 9 for 12 against Maine, but not many 3rd and 17s. Kendrick himself, Kansas transfer, gets bumped out of bounds. Big hit by Caleb Biggers. And it's a 3 and out for New Mexico on their first drive.
That's a play call from Derek Wareheim, the offensive coordinator. Says, all right, let's just take a breather. Let's catch our breath. We're way behind the chains here. Let's make sure we don't make any mistakes. Let's punt it away and live for another one. I don't hate the play call. That 3rd and 17 is really tough, especially the way that pass rush was coming after Miles Kendrick.
Aaron Rodriguez, last year, had the most punt attempts in the nation. Goes to show you what New Mexico's offense was a year ago, last in the FBS. Boise State did block a couple of punts against New Mexico in the meeting a year ago. Handles the high snap. Backpedaling, Stephon Cobbs calls fair catch. The question going into the week on the Boise State side, who'd be the quarterback? It's Hank Bachmeier, the 4-year starter, keeps his position.
They had an open competition all week. Said, you know what, Hank, if you want to keep your job, you got to show us that you can handle the competition, you can handle the pressure from behind you and play your way out of this funk that he's in. I think it's critical to watch him early, to give him some early confidence throws, underneath routes, screen passes, just to let him see the ball completed and get that ball in his receiver's hands.
From the 28, Bachmeier, there's that safe pass. Halani knocked down. Jarek Reed the former All-Mountain West safety, with a tackle for loss.
Well, I just said you want to give him some easy confidence throws. I guarantee you New Mexico is thinking the same thing. Hey, everyone knows what's going to happen here, but Jarek Reed, who is just a film study like gym rat. He's a guy that's always in there spending extra time. He's obviously been studying this Boise State offense. He read that from the get-go. Great break on the ball, too.
One of the rare times a Boise State quarterback under center here with Hank Bachmeier. On 2nd and 14, Kalani keeps the legs moving and gets close to the original line of scrimmage before he runs into Utele for New Mexico. Here's the Boise State offensive starters.
Another guard making his first start this season, Mason Randolph, number 63. And then watch out for number 5, Stephon Cobbs on the outside. Clearly Bachmeier's favorite target.
Quick tempo before 3rd down. Bachmeier's pass knocked away. It's incomplete. Dante Martin all over Billy Bowens. And Boise State responds with a 3 and out.
Boy, nice response from New Mexico after a rough series on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know if you noticed it, Chris. We were talking to the staff, Danny Gonzalez and the rest, Rocky Long, the defensive coordinator. This New Mexico team, they feel like they've got something special. Like it's been a rough couple years, and they feel like this is a different team. And it's on display early, playing with a lot of confidence and enthusiasm early in this game.
Teams trade 3 and outs. James Ferguson Reynolds struggled punting in his Boise State debut against Oregon State. Gets this one off, and Luke Wysong calls fair catch. 3 and outs each way. Mountain West Conference season begins in Albuquerque.
Who's on it with Jardiance?
We're managing type 2 diabetes and heart risk.
We're hitting the trails between meetings.
And putting the brakes on fried foods.
Jardiance is a once-daily pill that not only lowers A1C, it goes beyond to reduce the risk of cardiovascular death for adults with type 2 diabetes and known heart disease. And Jardiance may help you lose some weight.
Jardiance may cause serious side effects, including ketoacidosis that may be fatal, dehydration that can lead to sudden worsening of kidney function, and genital yeast or urinary tract infections. A rare life-threatening bacterial infection in the skin of the perineum could occur. Stop taking Jardiance and call your doctor right away if you have symptoms of this infection, ketoacidosis, or an allergic reaction. And don't take it if you're on dialysis. Taking Jardiance with a sulfonylurea or insulin may cause low blood sugar.
A once-daily pill that goes beyond lowering A1C?
We're on it.
We're on it.
We're on it with Jardiance.
Ask your doctor about Jardiance.
FanDuel is dropping you in the middle of all the fantasy football action all season long. Right now, new customers get a free entry into a single game contest for a share of millions in prizes. It's easy to build a team in minutes. And from single game to season long contests, you can take home W's all year long. Make every moment more FanDuel.
When you're the leader in disaster cleanup and restoration, how do you make like it never even happened happen? Let it rain, Randy! Woo! Yes! By being prepared for anything! Woo! Whatever comes your way, there's a pro for that.
Serve Pro, like it never even happened.
Teams trade 3 and outs. New Mexico with possession. Chris Lewis, Danny Cannell, Amanda Guerin. It's time to go into Cannell's keys.
All right, it's pretty easy. We talked about Hank Bachmeier a lot. Had to fight for his job. Got to build his confidence early. They tried that with an easy completion, but New Mexico was all over it. And then on the defensive side of the ball, they got to keep Miles Kendrick contained. We saw that in the first series. New Mexico wants to take some shots. They know that they can't drive the length of the field against this Boise State defense. They need to hit big plays, and then they got to hold George Holani under that magic 100-yard mark.
Well, you mentioned those explosive plays. To get them, you need pass protection.
Yes.
Kendrick was sacked.
They tried that first play of the game. They tried to take a shot, and he got sacked. He had no time whatsoever. And they want to throw it on early downs.
1st and 10 from the 25. Kendrick back to pass. Here's that shot. Going far side. The Arizona State transfer, Jordan Porter's the target. Can't get a foot in bounds. It's incomplete.
This is exactly what New Mexico wanted. First down, early downs, they wanted to take shots down the field. Little play action. They get the receiver behind. Kendrick under a little pressure, probably couldn't set his feet as much as he could have. And it comes up just short, a little bit off because of that pressure, and Porter can't keep his feet in bounds. But those opportunities, they only come so many times. When you dial them up, you have to hit those big shot plays.
And that Boise State defense gave up a handful of those against Oregon State a week ago. 2nd and 10. Again through the air. Weissong climbs the ladder, but the pass is too tall. Canijo in coverage, and it's 3rd down. Defense for Boise State. Lost a couple of key members, including Markel Reed last week, an important member of this Broncos secondary, playing without him.
Yeah, number 99 along the defensive front. Scott Matlock is a player that can wreak some absolute havoc. And then J.L. Skinner, the safety, is a massive human being that NFL scouts are starting to take notice of as you get a look at Scott Matlock there along the defensive line.
Another 3rd and long for New Mexico. Kendrick's pressured. Flush to his right. Stiff arm on Stram, gets rid of it out of bounds. So no comfort for Kendrick back there.
Remember the Cannell's keys? Keep Kendrick contained. That was a pretty good job there. And they don't even have to bring many. They do bring an extra rusher there. You saw Tarlis. And then number 52, DJ Schramm, gets in on the mix too. So far, Miles Kendrick has not had much time to throw. He's had to be flush from the pocket. They've got a couple shots in him. Just got to protect your QB.
Negative 4 yards of offense in 2 drives for New Mexico. Cobbs back to return for Boise State. Rodriguez, the punter for New Mexico. No pressure. Cobbs backpedals. Chance to return. Dances to the 27-yard line before he is plopped down. Mountain West Conference opener here in Albuquerque.
This is Mountain West football. Go Lobos. The blue and orange will rise to the top. Friday Night Lights on CBS Sports Network.
More truck owners are switching to Ram, which means more fathers are switching to Ram.
Your body's changing.
And more sons, more tailgaters, More tail waggers. More men with a lot of confidence.
Easy.
And more with not so much.
Yeah, I'm not going to fit in there.
And more guys who check straps with a firm tug and say,
that ain't going anywhere,
are switching to Ram.
Right now, during Ram Power Days, get 0% financing for 72 months.
Nothing is more important than this snap, this blitz, this drive. Nothing is more important than taking the field each week, alongside your brother, going out in battle, moving the chains, surviving the gauntlet, raising the hard way. Nothing is more important than this game. And the next game is on Pac-12 Networks.
I come over this way. This just kind of see it. If we lean towards this way, maybe. Yeah, okay.
No way. Football is better on 40-foot TVs. Just ask football's #1 fan, Travis Kelce.
Dave & Buster's, where winners watch.
Can we throw in the football game?
You're going to have to ask him.
Okay. Football is better on 40-foot TVs. Just ask football's #1 fan, Travis Kelce.
Dave & Buster's, where winners watch.
This table
is good. I'm so ready.
Oh
my God, why is no one ready? I am so ready.
All right.
It's okay. Fine. It's fine.
Yeah. It's only one person.
It's two people.
If we lean towards this way, maybe.
Yeah, okay.
No way.
What?
I want them big.
Football's better on 40-foot screens. Right, Travis Kelce?
Dave & Buster's, where winners watch.
It's a Pac-12 Mountain West Clash tomorrow on CBS. In-state foes, Colorado and Air Force. Matchup in Colorado Springs. Live coverage begins 3:30 tomorrow, only on CBS. Mountain West preseason poll, the team behind Boise State, the Mountain Air Force. But Danny, you think Air Force, you got your eye on them.
I thought they should have been the preseason favorite to win the Mountain Division. Boise State coming off a rough year last season, 7-5. Troy Calhoun had his quarterback returning. They got a big opportunity this weekend, which I think they're going to handle Colorado pretty convincingly too.
Of course, Utah State, the champions last year, they're preseason third. Off of New Mexico, 3-and-out. Bachmeier back to work. First down, handoff. Halani's man in the backfield, has nowhere to go. Jake Saltonstall first to hit him. Big loss on first down.
Boy, the pressure up front by Saltonstall, right in the middle of your screen at the nose tackle position, just splits the guard and center right through the A-gap. I don't know if that was a busted assignment because no one accounted for him. It didn't appear, and he's in the backfield.
Both teams in a negative yardage to this point. 2nd and 17. Halani once more. Better run this time. Barrels his way towards the original line of scrimmage before he runs into Jarek Reed II, a big member of this Lobos defense.
No doubt about it. He's the force up front that can really create some problems for an offensive line. Rico Hanna, one of the linebackers, number 44, one of the big communicators for them. And in the back end, we talked about Jarek Reed already making a play in this game early. And we've seen a lot of 3rd and longs for both teams. Here's another one for Boise State.
So Wolf, Lobo, and Wolf as positions. Those active safeties for Rocky Long's defense. 3rd and 10. Bachmeier, he's pressured, gets rid of it. Riley Smith near the line of scrimmage, nowhere to go on 3rd down. Tavian Combs makes the stop, and it's 4th down for Boise State.
You mentioned Rocky Long, the defensive coordinator. He and Danny Gonzalez have been together so long. And Rocky Long's a great guy with the X's and O's, putting his players in good positions to make plays. That was a good coverage sack right there. There was nobody open for Hank Bachmeier. He's trying to hold on to it. And the confusing schemes, Rocky Long likes to mix up coverages, bring different pressures, and that 3-3-5 off to a great start early.
Ferguson Reynolds. Wysong fair catch from the 30. Not much offense to begin at University Stadium in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Buying a home? Then you've got a lot on your mind. Now rising rates? Phew, it's a lot. But with Rocket, you have an advantage. You can lock your rate for 90 days while you search for a home. If rates rise, yours is safe. But if they fall within 3 years of buying, you can refinance to a new, lower rate with exclusive savings. We'll help you lock it and drop it so you can buy today. That's the Rocket Advantage. Lock your rate today. Call 8336-ROCKET or visit therocketadvantage.com.
When safe drivers save for not answering their phone while driving, they feel like a big deal.
Did you get the ice?
Even if they forgot the ice. Save up to 30% on auto insurance with USAA Safe Pilot. Get a quote today.
At Mass General Brigham Sports Medicine, you'll find sports medicine care driven by research and determination. Top specialists who understand your athletic dreams, goals, and the need to get back to them. Together, we'll write your comeback story. Start your comeback story today.
We see the baby pizza crust in its natural habitat. In a few months, it will mature into a delicious, gluten-friendly cauliflower crust pizza. Take in its glory. Only at Marco's.
Are you going higher or lower? With Underdog Fantasy's Pick'em game, that's the only choice you have to make. It's easy, it's fun, and it's the best way to put more sweat in watching your favorite team. Go to UnderdogFantasy.com to get started.
College football on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Geico. Save even more when you bundle home and car insurance. By Verizon, the network America relies on. And by Old Trapper Beef Jerky. What's your beef?
A Kodak moment for New Mexico back in 2015. Their only win in this series against Boise State. Now, since that game, Boise State has been the dominant team in this series.
And it's not even close. And New Mexico, under Danny Gonzalez, inherited this program in COVID, the 2020 season, and it's been a rough road.
Nate Jones on first down, and the defense for both of these teams so far in the first quarter making statements.
They are. Both offensive lines struggling to create any momentum for the run game or to protect their quarterback. I see Nate Jones just has nowhere to run. These are defenders playing on the other side of the line of scrimmage, and they're in the backfield. This is unreal early from both teams.
Give Alexander Tubner the tackle for a loss. Late play clock for New Mexico. They're comfortable letting that wind down. Kendrick on second down, hands it off. Once again, Jones, this time positive yardage, but nowhere near a big gain. DJ Schramm, who was second on Boise State in tackles last week, registers one there.
It's been a struggle early for New Mexico, and this is an offense last year that was the worst offense in college football. And I mentioned some of those struggles. They were shut down. They had to move their entire team to Las Vegas during the COVID year. They couldn't lift weights together. That was really a lost season for Danny Gonzalez. Last year, he tried to create some momentum. They could not find a quarterback. They were starting one guy to run it, one guy to throw it. Now they feel like they've got their guy, Miles Kendrick. Now they got to protect him, give him some opportunities.
Only 12 points per game as a team last year. Third down, float. Weissong, yes sir. On the out pattern, positive yardage and the first down of this game.
Luke Weissong, player we mentioned off the top, put on 20 pounds. You see him coming in the slot, out of motion. Nice little move. There's not a lot of separation there. That's an outstanding throw across the hash from Miles Kendrick. And Weissong looks it in for the first down. That's got to be a confidence booster for Kendrick, this offensive line, and this offense in general.
First down, the pitch to Porter. Jordan Porter on one of the sweeps. That was a staple of New Mexico's offense in the Week 1 win against Maine.
Yeah, I think they have to get creative with how they're going to move the football down the field. Some speed sweeps, misdirection, play action pass, taking your shots. And those shot plays they want to dial up on first and second down. I think they want to use a little bit of his clock, get their defense a little bit of a rest.
And that's technically a completion. Well, they had 11 different players carry the football last week.
Kendrick, that's a 4-man rush, and is brought down hard. Ezekiel Noah in the backfield for Boise State.
He wasn't the only one, Chris. There were quite a few guys, just harassing. You saw Tarlis trying to get him from behind. Noah comes in, gets the sack. And Kendrick's got to realize you can, in this type of game, got to find a way to throw the football away. Last week he did a pretty good job utilizing his feet, extending plays, getting some positive yardage. But against this Boise State defense, they're going to be slightly quicker than the main defense you faced last week. You got to give yourself a chance in these third downs.
After a 4-yard gain, a 4-yard loss. Third down. Kendrick rolls to his right, throws to the sideline. Austin Erickson nowhere close to the first down. Let's go down on the field to Amanda Guerra. Before that, let's check the penalty. It was on the near side of the field. The throw went to the far side. Tim Davis, the referee.
Personal foul, late hit after the play, number 27, defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
27's Deontay Thornton for Boise State.
Man, I tell you, Andy Avalos has got to be frustrated with that penalty. Your defense has been playing so great. New Mexico started to get a little life, get a big third down stop, and now you let New Mexico build on that confidence they had on this drive earlier. Extend the time. They're able to use the play clock.
That moves it to plus territory for New Mexico at Boise State's 44.
Good opportunity for a shot.
There's a play action. Double move for the receiver down the middle and Wysong, but Kendrick can't get it there.
You saw it, Chris. It was the shot play. Wysong with a little hesitation at the top. But they had both corner and safety corralled him pretty good. They were waiting on it. And that was a point of emphasis for Boise State's defense after giving up so many big plays to Oregon State last week. So they're not going to give up those layup passes either. Watch the hesitation, Kendrick. Nice pocket movement. Again, I'd like to see him maybe try to throw that football away, at least keep it 2nd and 10. Now you're behind the chains a little bit more. Makes it a little bit tougher.
A lot of second down and more than 10s. Option, flip, dropped by Wysong. And New Mexico fortunate to hop back on that one and have a third down upcoming.
Remember I mentioned creative ways to move the ball, trying just a little option down the line from a shotgun formation, but you cannot afford to turn the ball over. Just a straight pitch. Wysong just maybe got his eyes downfield, trying to miss it, make a tackler miss, took his eyes off the ball for that split second.
New Mexico last week fumbled the ball 3 times in the second half, recovered all of them. So the fumble luck has been on their side so
yeah,
far.
I wouldn't push that luck much longer.
Third and 13. Screen pattern. Bobby Wooden tiptoes down the sideline, steps out of bounds. And a safe throw on third down brings up 4th in medium distance.
Yeah, you try that play, you run the little bubble screen. If you get close to a 4th and shorter, you may think about going for it. But now I think they're going to play the field position game. See if they can pin Boise State back. Their defense has done a pretty good job. Boise's got a quarterback situation going on where Bachmeier feels like he's lost his confidence. So I don't mind the play call at all here, playing a little bit more conservatively. See if you can do the field position game.
It is
huge to pin him back here, though.
So that responsibility is on Aaron Rodriguez.
Gets it off. Angles far side. Takes a bounce at the 3. And then a roll near the 10-yard line. Inside the 10, it's downed. Excellent punt by Aaron Rodriguez. Shadow the own goalpost for Boise State next.
Meet Google Pixel 6a, a smarter phone for a smarter price, powered by the Google Tensor chip. So your camera can see in the dark with Night Sight. Fix your photos with Magic Eraser. Photograph all skin tones accurately with Real Tone. And last up to 72 hours with Extreme Battery Saver. It's all you want in a phone. Google Pixel 6a. Switch it up and get the all-new Google Pixel 6a on us.
Technically, when enamel is gone, you cannot get it back, but there are ways you can repair it. I'm excited about Pronamel Repair because it penetrates deep into the tooth to help actively repair acid-weakened enamel. I recommend Pronamel Repair to my patients.
New flavors worth fanning over. They're great!
Out here, you're more than just a landowner. You're a gardener, a landscaper, a hunter. Because you didn't settle for ordinary. Same goes for your equipment. Versatile, powerful, durable Kubota equipment. More goes into it, so you get more out of it.
Watch this. When you watch me play, you support all of us.
You show your daughter her future matters.
When you watch me play, take the shot. Drive, team up, win.
You prove we deserve more media coverage.
When you watch the game, you change the game.
Welcome back to Albuquerque, where we are scoreless here with 3:13 left in the first. Let's talk about this Rocky Long defense on the New Mexico side. Rocky Long, a legend across college football, but it has been 32 years since he has been in the press box. He may have a new home up there. Before the last game, he told Coach Gonzalez, I want to be up there. I want to see the field from a bird's eye view. And sure enough, it was New Mexico's first shutout since 2015. We asked Rocky Long, hey, what's the biggest difference being up there versus on the field? He says, well, one, it's a lot quieter, but two, in between plays, I have more time to analyze things and make adjustments. I also want to mention, we talked to a couple players who said they already had full faith in Rocky Long, but with him in the box, it is now an extra boost of confidence. Guys, back to you.
Well, Amanda, I mean, on the screen right there says it all for Boise State. 2 possessions, 1 yard. Rocky Long's defense so far strong. George Halani is the running back on first down. Biggest run for George Halani. But then the ball out late. We'll see how the officials rule it, saying he was down. So a positive play on first down for Boise State, much needed.
If I'm Tim Plow, the offensive coordinator for Boise State, I call over the offensive line in that last possession while they're on the sideline and say, you know what, we're putting this game on your guys' back. We're going to give it to number 24, and we're going to hammer it down their throat. And we're going to make them stop us. Because they have not had any luck getting protection, moving the football. You got to challenge your offensive line up front.
2nd and 2. The 2019 Mountain West Freshman of the Year, Halani, has a first down. Big hit by Jarek Reed, but Boise State picks up their first down of the first quarter.
So Boise State, too, dealing with some offensive line issues. Ben Dooley was out for the game. Mason Randolph thought was going to play, but now they're down to number 75, Will Farrar. He's in at right guard. He's kind of a swing guy who goes all across. He plays center, some as a backup, also left guard. But it's not his natural position, so they're dealing with some depth issues along that offensive line.
They protect Bachmeier here, who's looking deep. Cole Wright has a step, and Wright brings it inside the 30-yard line. He burned A.J. Odom's big strike for Boise State.
Boy, that is exactly what Boise State needed, a big chunk play. What a beautiful throw from Bachmeier here, too. Just right in the breadbasket. Make sure you seek it in. Wright catches it, makes the grab. And this is just a straight post route, pop the top off the defense. This is a quarterback's best friend. Get that huge chunk play.
47 yards. First down for Bachmeier. This time floats deep down the middle. Over the head of the intended receiver, Billy Bowens. Read in coverage. And this is more like the Bachmeier we saw last year, pushing it down the field.
Yes, and that was inches away from being 6. Bowens with the extension tries to make the catch. Had him. You get those opportunities a few times a game. Pretty good coverage, though. Jarek Reed trailing.
Empty on second down, and a flag down.
Delay of game, number 92, defense, disconcerting Sydney. 5-yard penalty, second down.
All right, so you got number 92, Omar Darame, simulating a snap count, or using some sort of motion, which you are not allowed to do. A lot of defensive linemen try to do that. They'll simulate a snap count. You'll see them jump around, maybe try to look like they're going to stutter step. That is a penalty on the defensive line.
Brings up a 2nd and 5. Lobo showing blitz. Caples in motion. Alani up the middle. Marches towards the red zone. So here's some of the points of emphasis this offseason in college football. One of them, those disconcerting signals that we just saw the penalty enforced.
It's been a long-time tactic of defensive linemen, especially on the road, or if you're playing in a noisy environment. For Boise, they're on the road here, and it's hard for the officials to tell who's yelling. Is it the quarterback? Is it the defensive lineman? They'll try to move around, simulate the cadence.
Alani, a yard short of the first down, so it's 3rd and 1. Heavy set. George Alani jukes outside. Reed found him. Combs there to help. 4th down upcoming for Boise State.
Now Bachmeier is out there. He's telling his coaches, I want to go for it. And I love the mentality. Alani trying to hammer it up there. Inside isn't there. See our guy Jarek Reed making a pretty good play there. And this is another one. You challenge your offensive line. I love Hank Bachmeier. He was out there looking at the coaching staff, pointing first. We're going for it. He's saying, give me a play. We're going for it. And this is one you got to set a tone for the entire game.
Perhaps the last play of the opening quarter. Alani on 4th down. Does have enough. Scott Matlock, who came into the game, a defensive tackle in the help block.
I love it. The offensive line up front. See big bodies in the backfield. And another reason I like the call to go for it, their field goal kicker missed 2 field goals last week. Like, why put it in his hands? Let's go for it, set a tone. Now you get an opportunity to get 7 instead of 3.
Took a while for the offense to get rolling for both teams in this game. But a first sustained drive is on the side of Boise State. The Broncos and the Lobos scoreless after 1. You're watching college football on CBS Sports Network, presented by Geico.
There's a couple of things I want you to pay attention to.
With breakdowns, big names, and tips to better your game.
This is fantastic.
Here we go. Course Record with Michael Breed gets back into the swing of things. Monday on CBS Sports Network.
FanDuel is dropping you in the middle of all the fantasy football action all season long. Right now, new customers get a free entry into a single game contest for a share of millions in prizes. It's easy to build a team in minutes. And from single game to season-long contests, you can take home W's all year long. Make every moment more FanDuel.
Better ingredients, better pizza, better brace yourself because this right here is a Papa John's Papa Bowl. No crust, just piping hot toppings and melty cheese in an oven-baked bowl. Better ingredients, better pizza, now in a bowl, Papa John's.
When safe drivers save for not answering their phone while driving, they feel like a big deal.
Did you get the ice?
even if they forgot the ice. Save up to 30% on auto insurance with USAA Safe Pilot.
Nothing is more important than this snap, this blitz, this drive. Nothing is more important than taking the field each week alongside your brother. Going out in battle, moving the chains, surviving the gauntlet, raising the hard way. Nothing is more important than this game. And the next game is on Pac-12 Networks.
Heavy-duty pulling power. To conquer the high road or the off-road. The GMC Sierra Heavy Duty. Premium and capable. Sierra Heavy Duty models are arriving weekly at your local GMC dealers. Available for immediate delivery with 0% financing.
Combination of 5 key natural ingredients found in no other product. Key ingredients backed by 5 clinical studies. Instaflex Advanced is so powerful, you could have better knees in just 1 week. Maybe that's why it's #1 at GNC. But you can only get your complimentary sample by texting GUARD to 321-321. Plus, text now and we'll include a tube of Instaflex pain cream with its exclusive oxygenated oil for fast-acting relief from the pain of arthritis, backaches, and sore muscles. Absolutely free. Text GUARD to 321-321.
Lobo Louie hanging out on a Friday night in Albuquerque. No score through 1. Finally, a little bit of offense, Danny, as the first quarter came to a close.
Yeah,
but
if you're a defensive guy, you might say, hey, this is a great game. I'm an offensive guy. I think it's been kind of ugly so far. Both offensive lines have struggled, and really the big play to Cole Wright was the only play to speak of from the entire first quarter. And the 4th down conversion, which was huge.
Well, it's been Hank Bachmeier the entire way of the first quarter for Boise State. That to work in the second quarter. Empty on 1st and 10. Bachmeier has time, lasers over the middle. Latrell Capel skips into the end zone. First passing touchdown of the year for Boise State. 18 yards.
Boy, this is exactly what Hank Bachmeier and Boise State needed. I love how he's getting through his read. You saw him survey the right side of the field first. Capels comes through on the backside, catches a nice underneath route, takes it in, finding that weak spot in the zone coverage from New Mexico.
Jonah Dalmas, extra point through. Latrell Capels, first career touchdown. Hank Bachmeier, a lot of questions heading into this week, starting to answer them on the road.
More truck owners are switching to Ram, which means more fathers are switching to Ram.
Your body's changing.
And more sons, more tailgaters, more tail waggers, more men with a lot of confidence.
Easy.
And more with not so much.
Yeah, I'm not going to fit in there.
And more guys who check straps with a firm tug and say,
that ain't going anywhere,
are switching to Ram.
Right now, during Ram Power Days, get 0% financing for 72 months on our most popular models.
When your leader is asked for cleanup and restoration, how do you make like it never even happened happen? Fire it up, Randy! By being prepared for anything! Whatever comes your way, there's a pro for that.
Serve Pro, like it never even happened.
On a Fansville homecoming by Dr. Pepper.
Surprise! CJ, we weren't expecting you.
Hey, buddy, what are you doing here?
Hey, go State.
You replaced me with star quarterback Bryce Young?
We could never replace you.
Here's your Dr. Pepper mom. Mom?
It's just a silly nickname.
He came up with Dad for me. Here you go, kid. Huh. They're my family now, CJ.
Next time on Fansville.
Hey, brother. Get out of my room!
Dr. Pepper, the one fans deserve.
Wow. Really, DraftKings? $1 million? You know, that's a lot of money just for picking players. You know how many jokes I got to tell to make $1 million? Probably like one, and then I think about it. But that's because I'm Kevin Hart. But for other people, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money.
Download the DraftKings app and take a free shot at $1 million with the leader in daily fantasy sports. Action's so good, why play anywhere else?
Well, no. Like a half a joke.
8-play, 91-yard drive for Boise State to take the lead. It's time now for Plays We Love, brought to you by Marco's Pizza.
All right, Chris, let's take a look at the route. You're going to see basically a lot of pressing vertically down the field, 4 verticals, and you're going to see Caples right here in the slot come underneath. And when New Mexico, they're playing in pretty much an umbrella coverage, sitting back, keeping everybody in front of them. And while they do that, the vertical routes occupy them, which opens up the underneath route for Caples and the easy touchdown. See him just dropping back in coverage, and then you know you got an opportunity there with one of your best receivers in the slot against the safety, Tavian Combs, number 7, and good luck trying to cover a guy in open field.
Well, Danny, you're a former quarterback. Hank Bachmeier was under the spotlight heading into this game. What have you seen from him?
I'm breathing a sigh of relief for him. He needed this type of start, and it was bumpy early tonight as he was getting knocked around. They were trying to build up his confidence, and Andy Avalos has got to feel good because I don't think they wanted to go to the bullpen just yet in Talon Green. He's a young, talented guy, but this early in the season, this is your leader, Hank Bachmeier, so you wanted him to earn his job back both in practice but also put a stamp on it tonight, which I'd say he's done with the huge pass to Cole Wright and then a nice touchdown read by him to Caples.
One of the things that Tim Plow, the offensive coordinator for Boise State, told us is, hey, be on the lookout for Cole Wright. Have a sneaky suspicion he could be a factor in this game. Well, and if anybody would know, it'd be the play caller. New Mexico on first down. Here's a big run by Sherrod White. White down the near sidelines, finally bumped out of bounds just shy of midfield. White had a big game, a couple of touchdowns a week ago against Maine. Picks up 21 there.
Boy, there's so much pressure up front. If you can just get past that first wave of pressure, it opens up that second level, which Sherrod White was able to get to. And then once he got to the open field to see a nice game, I think this is a big drive for New Mexico to show, hey, we took a punch, now we're going to give you one back.
Kendrick, roll out on first down. Low throw. It is brought in. Let's go downstairs to Amanda.
Well, Chris, a big part of this Boise State defense is missing for this game. Safety J.L. Skinner led the team in tackles last season and also in that first game. Boise State would only tell me he's not dressed. I asked if there's a reason that we could give for that. All they would say is not dressed for this game. No reason given. Back to you.
Wow, that's a big loss for Boise State on defense.
It's a huge loss. Boise State's been tight-lipped about a lot this week. Didn't want anybody to know who the quarterback was going to be. Told everyone before the game it was going to be Bachmeier. But Skinner's a significant loss in that secondary.
Interception last week against Oregon State. 2nd and 7. Kendrick keeps on the option. Clipped down. Keonohi Kaniho.
Beautiful job by Boise State, just stringing that thing out, letting the ball go sideways. See, they're trying to run that option, and the minute Miles Kendrick tries to turn it upfield, Kaniho comes up and makes a nice open field tackle. If they want to run that option, just let them run sideways. That's what every defense wants to do. All right, and then the moment they make that decision, quarterback keeps as opposed to pitches, then you go get them.
Well, you said it's a big drive. I guess this means it's a huge 3rd and 8.
Big.
Third down. Kendrick snakes through the rush. Keeps the feet moving. Open field tackle by Isaiah Banya right near the first down marker. From the spot, it looks like it's just short.
Now, we just saw Boise State decide to go for it. I think you'll see New Mexico try as well. As you see Kendrick, the coaches said they were pleasantly surprised with how well he moved in the pocket last week against Maine. It's a little bit different story against this defense, a little bit higher caliber of defender. And he comes out of his shoe there. Miles Kendrick does. He'll have to get that thing laced back up. And they are going to go for it, which I do think is the right move here.
Other than that big run by White, New Mexico hasn't gotten much movement up front in the ground game. 4th and 1. From the 45. Handoff to Jones. He's gobbled up. Scott Matlock, the captain of Boise State's defense, forces the turnover on downs.
Boy, Matlock was somebody we talked about earlier. Number 99 is a massive human being right there in the middle of that defensive line. Lined up in that A-gap, just shoots right through. You know, the play call I liked. Of course, you got to execute it. It makes it a lot tougher. Nate Jones had nowhere to go. But I think New Mexico sent a message, hey, we want to play to win. And that's what a winning type of gamble there, I think, from the New Mexico coaching staff.
True freshman Ashton Genty in at running back on first down and gets the handoff. A little bit of bobble on that handoff. He did have a fumble last week against Oregon State inside the 10-yard line. It's the run on first down. So Hank Bachmeier, you said beginning of the game a little bit shaky, but not as shaky as it was last week.
No, not even close. Last week was a disaster. Tim Plow, their offensive coordinator, said he thought he was concussed, but he never got hit. He just said it looked like he was in a fog or in a funk, and it did. His confidence was clearly shaken. That's why I felt like it was so important to build that confidence back up.
From New Mexico's 49, Bachmeier on the rollouts. Riley Smith, the tight end, hit immediately. Alec Marenko, interesting story. He picked up a targeting penalty in the second half last week. He's back because the new rule change in college football allows for appeals on targeting in the second half. It allows him to make tackles like that.
Excuse me. Thank goodness, too. I cannot stand the way the targeting rule over the last few years has been officiated. We are getting to a much better place that is legislated in a much better way where the players don't get punished so much.
3rd and 7. New Mexico sends a blitz. Bowens one-on-one. Knocked away, it completes. Dante Martin in coverage for New Mexico, and it's 4th down for Boise State.
Dante Martin in blanket coverage. That was solid. Bachmeier wants to see a replay of that. Say, man, how did he stay all over him? Trying a little back shoulder, which is one of the toughest throws to defend as a defensive back. An outstanding job. Keeping his eye on the receiver and the ball, looks back and gets that left hand on it to take away that 3rd down conversion to Billy Bowens.
And plus territory, Boise State with the punt unit on. Ferguson Reynolds. Luke Wysong is the returner. He won't get to this one. Now to the roll. Excellent Boise State roll. Down at the 1. Caleb Biggers on top of that one. Boise State coming off of a 91-yard drive. New Mexico football up next.
Watch this. When you watch me play, you support all of us.
You show your daughter our future matters.
When you watch me play,
Take the shot.
drive, team up, win.
You prove we deserve more media coverage.
When you watch the game, you change the game.
Meet Febrez's Miracle Spray, Febreze Fabric Refresher.
I literally use this every day to make my house smell amazing after I make the bed, after my dog jumps off the couch. So I can wear my jacket or jeans one more time before I wash them again. It even makes shoes smell fresh. It doesn't cover up odors with scent, but actually eliminates them.
Over 1,000 uses. Febreze Fabric Refresher.
Did you know there are surfaces in your home that look clean, but a closer look shows there are often layers of invisible dirt left behind? Try Mr. Clean Magic Eraser for a deep down hygienic clean. Magic Eraser removes the messes you can see, as well as more of the dirt and grime you don't. All you do is wet, squeeze, and start erasing dirt and grime all around the house. And try Magic Eraser Sheets for a deep clean in hard-to-reach places that you can toss when you're done. Mr. Clean Magic Eraser for a deep-down hygienic clean all around the house.
Want your clothes to smell freshly washed all day without heavy perfumes? Try new Downy Light in Wash Scent Beads. It has long-lasting light scent, no heavy perfumes, and no dyes. Finally, a light scent that lasts all day. New Downy Light.
Back in front of one of the world's most iconic cities. More speed, more adrenaline, more rivalries. Watch Quentin Delapierre lead the France Sail GP team on home waters at the France Sail Grand Prix on CBS Sports Network.
Sunday, it's finally here. Week 1 of the NFL on CBS. Doubleheader action kicks off with the Steelers against the defending AFC champion Bengals. Patriots and Dolphins as well. And later, Mahomes and the Chiefs face Kyler and the Cardinals. Sunday, the NFL is back on CBS. A couple of standouts from these two schools, members of the Dolphins. Cedric Wilson got a lot of money to join the Dolphins this offseason.
He's not the only one. The Dolphins were bringing in all kind of weapons to give Tua Tagovailoa. I'm a Dolphins fan, grew up in South Florida.
Think they have what it takes to get to the playoffs?
It's all up to Tua.
First down, handoff. Miles Kendrick gives it to White. Not much. And for more on Kendrick, let's go to Amanda.
Well, Chris, we got to talk to Miles Kendrick this week about how he's fit in and adjusted to this team so well and so quickly. He says it's because they're an underdog just like him. He feels his entire career he's had to prove to people his ability, and that is exactly what this New Mexico team is trying to do right now. I got to say, coaches, players, they all rave about him. They say when he speaks up, this entire team gravitates to him. And I got to say, he's been very vocal so far on this sideline thus far.
Kendrick, and one of the characteristics of him, this is a quarterback who's only 5'10". That naturally comes with a chip on your shoulder. As the New Mexico sideline active there, they'll call the timeouts with the play clock winding down.
This is a dangerous little spot. I think that's why you saw New Mexico decide to take the timeout.
We'll be back in 30 seconds from Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Wow, we're on Verizon now.
Yeah, Cecily, because of their new plan, One Unlimited for iPhone.
Elaborate?
It comes with Apple One. That's Apple Music, Apple TV Plus, Apple Arcade, and iCloud Plus.
All included on the network you want to be on.
Exactly. We could be up here all weekend listening to The Weeknd.
While flinging Angry Birds.
Not you. You're lovely. Are you napping?
No, I'm watching my favorite show, starring me.
The first plan with Apple One included. Introducing One Unlimited for iPhone. Only on the network America relies on. Verizon.
Danny Gonzalez's bunch down by 7 and deep in their own territory.
It's a big spot. I think they wanted to make sure they got their protections right. Boise State smelling blood in the water a little bit. They've been getting pressure all night long. Miles Kendrick has to be careful with the football here.
Second and 9. Kendrick play action. And the pocket launches. And it's out of bounds. Incomplete, sorry, knocked down right before the sideline. So Danny Gonzalez, somebody who, I want to say that kind of quiet confidence about his team. He said, hey, wait a minute, it's FCS, man. I know about the shutout, but heading into this one, having a good feeling, something that New Mexico hasn't had too often.
No, he retooled this roster the past offseason. 23 transfers, a ton of young talent. They are still young, but he loved what he saw out of his team against Maine, and yet he was honest enough to say, you know what, we know Maine wasn't very good, but he was excited about this opportunity against one of the best teams in the Mountain West.
Third down and 9. Clean pocket. Sidesteps. Floats. And away. So New Mexico with a 3-and-out deep in their own territory.
I don't hate the decision right there. Remember earlier I said Miles Kendrick's got to be careful. Make sure you keep your team in good field position. They're trying to get open. This is pretty good blanket coverage. There aren't many options to go with the football. Up top, covered, here covered, nowhere to go with it. They tried to max up protection, so only get 3 guys out in routes, which isn't that hard to cover when you got 7 covering them.
Rodriguez, 4th punt of this game. He had the most punts in the nation last year, with New Mexico struggling on offense. And Boise State highlighting some movement on the New Mexico line.
False start, number 44, offense. Half the distance to the goal, 4th down.
Well, half the distance from the 6 to the 3.
This is, again, dangerous territory here in Danny Gonzalez. You can see a little concern on his face. Let's make sure you get rid of this one.
Boise State blocked 2 punts against New Mexico last season, 4 touchdowns. Rodriguez has to hurry. Boise State nearly got it, but it is off. And past Cobbs, and what a roll. Well done by Aaron Rodriguez.
He's the MVP of the offense today. I mean, he's done a fantastic job flipping the field position, trying to pin Boise State back, at least making them drive a little bit longer. Hank Bachmeier, we talked about having to earn his job against Oregon State. It was not pretty. Forced the ball a couple times, couple errant throws, 2 interceptions, was sacked and lost it here, put it on the ground. But tonight, a different story here in New Mexico. Beautiful, beautiful pass down the field to Cole Wright, and then the underneath touchdown pass to Latrell Caples, his first touchdown, and a beautiful read. I like the composure in the pocket to go through his progression on that one and get to his last option.
Counter play on first down for the true freshman Ashton Genty, and he is wrapped up immediately. Omar Darame, the front runner there on the New Mexico defense.
You know, New Mexico, we're going back to Danny Gonzalez, talking about him, the program as Andy Avalos looks on. Yeah, I think he thought, in Rocky Long as well, we're going to play tough. Like, I don't know if we're going to win the game. We're going to play tough. And I think that's what you're seeing early. I just wonder if the depth can hang on for 4 quarters.
Said they played tough in the opener, played hard. 2nd down and 8. Bachmeier wants a deep shot. In stride for Billy Bowens. Inside the 25-yard line. So after the great punt, Boise State still responds.
Boy, another beautiful ball from Bachmeier, perfectly in stride to Bowens, who just gets behind number 6, Ronald Wilson. That was a straight go route, just ran right by him.
Quick tempo after the 41-yard reception. Bachmeier looking for Bowens again. This time over his head. Covered well by Dante Martin.
And Boise State's got a pretty good core of wide receivers, and I think they're letting them flex their muscle a little bit, saying, all right, we got our quarterback's confidence back. Let's see if we can stretch the field somewhat.
That graphic says a lot. Hank Bachmeier compared to New Mexico total offense. Score, though, just separated by a touchdown. Boise State hunting for more on this 2nd down. And we saw that similar movement shifting by New Mexico's defense up front, and then that flag comes in. We saw a disconcerting signals flag in the 1st quarter.
Is this going to be another one? I tell you, this has got to be frustrating if you're New Mexico to just be handing over. Now, that looked like a hard count. That, to me, looked like a hard count. You're trying to get him jump off sides, which maybe did.
Offside.
Yeah.
Number 95. Defense causing the offense to move. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Now you're starting to see Boise State start to feel it a little bit. Now they're mixing up the cadence because New Mexico, we just talked about them playing tough, getting pretty good at pass rush. Now you said on the game, they've heard your cadence for an entire quarter and a half. Now you can use it against them. Now you got a new quarterback in, Taylon Green. I'd look for probably a run play here. He is an incredible run threat.
Had that big 74-yard touchdown run against Oregon State last week. This time he hands it to fellow freshman Ashton Genty. Clipped down. Jarek Reed, he's been a factor in this first half for New Mexico.
Yes, Taylon Green came in at quarterback there, and he was a force when he came in against Oregon State. And this is why I thought it would be a run play. Just run a little zone read. He decides to give it. I don't even know if it was truly a zone read, if it was a called design run. But he is an impressive QB as Bachmeier's back in the game here on a 3rd and 8.
With Genty, the motion man. Third and 8 from the 21. New Mexico blitzes. Bachmeier's protected. Lasers it to Caples inside the 5-yard line. In front of Ronald Wilson.
What a beautiful job by the offensive line, good protection, or maybe it wasn't. There might have been a hold up there in the offensive line. No wonder it was good protection. Yep.
3rd down.
Number 71, Cade Beresford. Over here on the right, I believe, is where he is on that right side of the line. Yeah, he's trying to catch a smaller linebacker, gets up in there. Too much jersey, that's tough. It's a big break for New Mexico. Put him in 3rd and long here.
So the Washington State transfer picks up the penalty, brings up 3rd and 18. four-man rush. Bachmeier looks deep down the field. Bowens again, jump ball, incomplete. The Bowens versus Martin battle has been fun to watch.
Yes, it has. I tell you, Hank Bachmeier said, all right, I'm going to trust my receiver. I'm going to throw this one up for grabs a little bit. And I don't mind taking the risk there. Bowens almost goes up over the top, but Dante Martin, who's made a couple nice plays, is able to break that one up.
Jonah Dalmas looking for a bounce-back game. He missed 2 kicks last week from 32. He missed 2 kicks all of last year in 28 attempts. One of the most accurate kickers from a season ago, does give Boise State a 10-0 lead. Drills it from 48. Does Danny Gonzalez's bunch have a response?
FanDuel is dropping you in the middle of all the fantasy football action all season long. Right now, new customers get a free entry into a single game contest for a share of millions in prizes. It's easy to build a team in minutes. And from single game to season-long contests, you can take home W's all year long. Make every moment more FanDuel.
Smile Direct Club. These are Smile Direct Club aligners. They can turn a smile like this into a smile like this in as little as 4 to 6 months for less than $3 a day. Choose Smile. Get started for free at SmileDirectClub.com.
The overtime went into overtime. What do? You turn to DiGiorno to be MVP. MV Pizza. Fresh baked taste. The win and move. It's not delivery, it's DiGiorno.
Meet Google Pixel 6a, a smarter phone for a smarter price, powered by the Google Tensor chip. So your camera can see in the dark with Night Sight. Fix your photos with Magic Eraser. Photograph all skin tones accurately with Real Tone. And last up to 72 hours with Extreme Battery Saver. It's all you want in a phone. Google Pixel 6a. Switch it up and get the all-new Google Pixel 6a on us.
On Season 5 of Fansville, college football is back, and it's total chaos.
The conference lines are being redrawn, and Fansville's being ripped apart.
And nothing
Sorry, Logan, you live in tech country now.
But I hate tech!
will ever be the same.
Schools are changing conferences! Players are changing schools! What happened to tradition?
So hold on to your Dr. Pepper.
That's called an off tackle. That's where the running back runs.
I know what it is. Did you just fansplain me?
I'm sorry. I was out of bounds. That's where a player steps back.
Dr. Pepper, the one fans deserve.
You know what they say about the Lobos in a full moon, right? Well, coming up with the Verizon halftime report. Brent Stover, Houston Nutt, Kevin Carter, Tom Herman, they're standing by. Get you caught up on the other game of the night, Louisville and UCF. Look ahead to tomorrow's slate, and it's coming up on the Verizon halftime reports. Speaking of tomorrow, another solid week of games. You got Alabama and Texas. First time since that championship game. Florida and Kentucky. They split the last 4. It used to be dominated by Florida. And then this one, you got BYU hosting a top 10 team in Baylor, looking to win at home against a top 10 team for the first time since 1990. That is significant game, denying Miami a chance for the championship.
I cannot wait to watch all of those games. The big question, though, is Steve Sarkisian, how he's going to do against his former boss and Nick Saban. Can they keep that game close?
Well, New Mexico trying to keep this game close. Right now, without a point, get the ball again. Boise State's defense is on point.
Yeah, they've had a lot of success getting pressure on Miles Kendrick tonight without having to bring much pressure, corralling him. Remember, it was keep him contained, and they've had him on the ground. They've had him frustrated, and there has been zero presence of rush game, whether it was Nate Jones trying to get it started, his first start here in a big opportunity. And that's one of the big reasons right there is number 99. The big fella, Scott Matlock, right in the heart of that defense. And this is where, start getting, you don't want to press if you're New Mexico. You don't want to force the ball, but you do want to try to extend the drive here. You got to get some points somehow.
Starting to drive from the 25. Kendrick, deep drop back. He's gunning for the middle of the field. Over the head of Wysong. And incomplete. Canijo running step for step.
That was a point of emphasis for New Mexico, was to take some shots on early downs. It was a first down shot. Boise State was prepared for it. They saw it coming. Canijo was running step for Wysong. I mean, there's two guys there running with him. You know, Ford kind of gives up. Rodney Robinson says, I'm not going to be in on this play, just a slight overthrow, but there wasn't really a spot to go with that football.
And the key theme on the Boise State defensive side going into this week was eye discipline, not being fooled by the run action and keeping safeties deep down the field in the corners. Second down and 10. Wysong on the pitch. Saw a lot of that last week with Wysong having a touchdown receiving and a touchdown rushing for New Mexico.
And the reason New Mexico wanted to take some shots tonight on those early downs is I think they know they're not going to line it up and have a 10-play drive with, you know, little runs of 4, 5, and 6 yards. They know they got to pick their spots, use some misdirection. They're not getting a lot of movement up front against this very impressive Boise State front seven so far.
Boise State, one of the best defenses in the nation a season ago. True to form here in the first half of this one. Third down and 9. Kendrick with a flag down. Jumps off the back foot and throws it away. Might have been a hold up front as well as New Mexico.
I'm pretty sure it was number 75, J.C. Davis, I think, that left tackle.
Holding, number 75. Offense. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
All over it, J.C. Davis, the left tackle. So it's not Maine this time for New Mexico. It's been a struggle here in the first half. And the punt unit's on again for the 5th time. Aaron Rodriguez had a great punt of 63 yards in his last attempt. Stephon Cobbs is back to return. Light rush. Cobbs backpedals. Wants the return from the 22. It doesn't get much past that. Jarek Reed down the field, helping to make the tackle. Let's check in on the sidelines with Amanda Guerra.
Hey, Chris, we were able to talk to Boise State offensive coordinator Tim Plow this week about the relationship between Hank Bachmeier and Talon Green. He said, first and foremost, they believed in Hank coming off that last game and his mental ability to overcome that game. But they also said there was a really special moment this week when Talon asked Hank and Coach Plow. He held him back after a meeting. It was just the three of them in the room. And Talon wanted to voice his love and respect for Hank, how he supports him, how he learns from him every single day. Tim Plow tells us they really do have a big brother, little brother relationship. It is only love between these two guys. And they said it was important for Hank to hear that from Talon. And of course, he's seeing outplay here tonight.
Danny, you've been
in a lot of quarterback rooms. Yeah,
so.
It's a special place, and it can be if you have good, solid relationships in those rooms. And I've been in some healthy ones and some unhealthy ones. And your quarterback room, you can really help each other. There's a camaraderie in there because it is a special position. And only the guys under center that have played it can really understand.
There was a penalty on that punt on the return for Boise State, a hold, so it backs up the Broncos to the 11-yard line. To begin this drive with Hank Bachmeier, that to work. Billy Bowens makes the catch, but he and Dante Martin have had a wrestling match throughout this first half.
Yes, they have, and now you're starting to see Bachmeier find a rhythm, his confidence really starting to feel it, and man, it just opens up an entire offense when you feel like, hey, we can spread the field, we can move them out wide, we can run it if we want to, but we can move it through the air, which they're having a lot of success here in the second quarter for sure.
130 to 39 in total yards. George Talani stretched out that time, gets nothing. Fist in the air by Alec Marenko. He's the one who wants you to know he made the tackle.
Why not, right? You make the play. Hey, it was me. I want to get that credit. Slices his way through the offensive line. See him getting that pressure. Neither offensive line has really created much movement for the run game on either side. Boise has done a better job protecting Bachmeier clearly than New Mexico has done with Kendrick.
Late first half, 3rd and 6. from the 15. Bachmeier steps up, fires it deep, out of bounds. Stefan Cobbs, who the Boise State staff said want to get going. Odom's in coverage.
Yeah, Boise State really challenging the secondary for New Mexico, taking their shots down the field and giving their receivers opportunity in man-to-man matchups. It's giving them a lot of 50-50 balls, opportunities, and Boise State's been able to capitalize on a few of them. And New Mexico's been pretty feisty on some of them as well. I think that was a big stop for New Mexico, being able to get off the field, get it back. You know, you don't want to lose this game. Why don't you kind of hang around? Your comp's like, hey, we can do this. Boise State's trying to go for the jugular.
9th punt between these two teams in the first half. Wysong, he wants to return this one. Doesn't get anything. Rodney Robinson for Boise State on special teams.
Timeout on the field.
They like to play their starters on special teams. For reasons like that, some of the crowd from Boise made a travel.
Buying a home? Then you've got a lot on your mind. Now, rising rates? Phew, it's a lot. But with Rocket, you have an advantage. You can lock your rate for 90 days while you search for a home. If rates rise, yours is safe. But if they fall within 3 years of buying, you can refinance to a new, lower rate with exclusive savings. We'll help you lock it and drop it so you can buy today. That's the Rocket Advantage. Lock your rate today. Call 8336-ROCKET or visit therocketadvantage.com.
Oh, Marco's Pepperoni Magnifico. Classic and old world pepperoni on one pizza, and a large is just $9.99? The phrase slice of heaven comes to mind. Marco's, pizza lovers, get it.
Here's a good Halloween trick. Buy a bunch of Reese's. There you go. Turn off all the lights in your house. Yeah. And then just don't answer the door. Not sorry, Reese's.
At Mass General Brigham Sports Medicine, you'll find sports medicine care driven by research and determination. Top specialists who understand your athletic dreams, goals, and the need to get back to them. Together, we'll write your comeback story. Start your comeback story today.
When safe drivers save for not answering their phone while driving, they feel like a big deal.
Did you get the ice?
Even if they forgot the ice. Save up to 30% on auto insurance with USAA Safe Pilot. Get a quote today.
We're surprising Twisted Tea superfans with a Twisted Tea drop. Twisted Tea tastes like real iced tea because it's made with real brewed tea and 5% alcohol to kick off your game day. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Keep it twisted.
New Mexico with the football down by 10 late first half. Miles Kendrick back to work, the quarterback for New Mexico. He's a Kansas transfer. Part of the reason how he decided to hop on to New Mexico is he's childhood friends with Jake Saltonstall. You see him to the left, Kendrick to the right. I love those glasses. Those are awesome. Pop Warner teammates for the Morgan Hill Raiders. Childhood friends to now teammates with New Mexico.
Really cool. A big reason why Miles Kendrick is here. He called him up, said, hey, what's it like? And got sold on the program from Saltonstall and decided to give it a shot.
See if New Mexico takes a shot on first down. Instead, Kendrick throws it away. Now, Saltonstall was the offensive lineman for Kendrick back in the day. Now, Saltonstall's on the defensive side.
Yep. And, Miles Kendrick, one of the things he said about coming to New Mexico, he said, I like a program that has a chip on the shoulder. That was a common theme for every Lobo that we talked to, including the coaching staff, was, and we know what people think of us, and we want to change that perception, especially Danny Gonzalez is a former player here and is a native of Albuquerque.
A pitch to Wysong, getting the ball in his hands quite a bit. But that time on the sweep, Boise State sniffed it out. Tyreek Jones coming from the nickel position.
It's really been a struggle for the offensive line up front. I mean, you got a cornerback in the backfield. You can't even get any movement on the outside. This is part of the process. You bring in, they had 3 new starters that were transfers. One of them's out, their right tackle, DJ Wingfield. So you got Greg Brown second in at right tackle, but this is still a newer unit who's trying to develop continuity and build some confidence. And against this Boise State front, not having much success early.
Just 1 for 7 so far on third downs. Kendrick has the ball hit from him, and the arm was moving forward. When was the ball knocked out of it? They rule it's incomplete. For the record, Tarlis was the one who picked it up, if they look at it.
I think this was an incomplete.
Oh, wow. It does hit the head. I thought it was hit out from the hand going back.
You know, Miles Kendrick's 5'10". That ball kind of came out of his hand funny, but you got to slide around and find windows. The ball kind of came out funny. I don't think that was a result of his height, but he is pretty good at moving around that pocket.
Tua, the ball hit the back of the head.
What just hit me?
Those new red helmets. It must be the first time in 42 years you're wearing the cherry helmets. You got to get involved somehow. Stephon Cobbs is tackled immediately. Punt return is not much of a thing in this one.
Aaron Rodriguez, MVP.
He's been great. Let's go downstairs to Amanda.
Well, Chris, let's talk about George Holani here for a little bit. This is the first time in 2 seasons he is really ready to go without limitations. But he said a lot of that, he takes a lot of responsibility on himself to stay healthy. He said he had a great camp, but so much of what he's focused on is continuing to rehab his body. He says, the more I'm sore, the more I have to move around. So it doesn't matter what he's doing. He is trying to keep that body loose. Even if he's watching TV, he is making sure to stretch and stay loose.
I mean, Amanda, his last name might as well be hyphenated, Holani, if he stays healthy. Because every article for Boise State this year previewing the season about keeping that guy upright. First down throw to Caples is incomplete. George Holani, when he's right, has been great. Former All-Conference, Freshman of the Year in 2019. Finished last year strong with over 400 yards on the ground in his last 4 games.
It was really the bright spot of the offense last season. The defense was great. Offense struggled. Holani was the one spot that they felt really good about coming into this season.
Wide to Billy Bowens, third down for Boise State.
You know, this is an interesting spot in the game. Boise State's up 10-0. They would love to get some more points on before half. In New Mexico, you almost feel like they go in 10-0. If anything up more than that, is just icing on the cake. So this is a big third down for Boise State. New Mexico get the ball, put some points on the board somehow. I gotta feel like the first half is a win.
So far this season, Boise State 4 for 19 on third downs. Set a screen here for Bowens. Bowens slips through a tackle, needs the 32, will not get there. Made one man miss, but not 2, 3, and 4.
Pretty good effort by Billy Bowens. You get that ball in his hands in open space. We always hear about that. Now you got to make a guy miss. Makes one miss. And then you see a swarm of red helmets coming around the ball. That's what Jarek Reed, we talked to him yesterday. He said, hey, how do you stop this Boise State team? We're going to get a lot of helmets on the football, and they did there.
Another punt in this first half. This time by James Ferguson Reynolds, the freshman from Australia. Wysong, fair catch, 30-yard line. And then a lot of traffic in front of him. Boise State, New Mexico in the Mountain West Conference opener. Here's a look at the Mountain West news and notes. Utah State, the defending champions, had a great year led by Logan Bonner, Blake Anderson, the head coach. They're preseason third in their division coming into this year. Fresno State picked to win the West, and Boise State, as always, picked to win the Mountain.
Yeah, Fresno State has an interesting game this weekend against Oregon State, a team that just beat Boise State. And I like Jake Haener, the quarterback out of Fresno State. He's got some skills. Thought about leaving, going back to Washington, said, no, I'm going to go ahead and stay here, pick up where I left off last year.
How do you get Kendrick going here?
Protect him. Give him some time. He hasn't had much.
Play action. See if it's another deep shot for New Mexico. It is knocked away. Excellent defense late by Tyreek LaBeouf.
Wow.
Reaching in to knock it away from Erickson.
What a beautiful play by LaBeouf. Had a step on him. He comes in with that left hand. Austin Erickson, maybe if the throw's out a little bit more out in front, he can run underneath it, but great recovery from LaBeouf there. Those are the types of plays. Like if you're New Mexico, you want to pull off the upset, you've got to find a way to complete those.
5 for 15 now for Kendrick. Slant route, tipped and knocked away, and Biggers might have been early. And that's why the flag is out.
As every defensive back would do. He says, hey, I didn't do anything. It wasn't me. I didn't put any hands on him. Let's see if he gets there early. Yeah, that's about as easy as call as you get. He's got the back, that right. That's a trick. They like trying to get away with that. Sometimes they do. Not there.
Pass interference, number 1. Defense, spot foul, automatic, first down.
I mean, clearly he's there. But, I mean, he plays the position. That's what they're going to do. I didn't do anything. It wasn't me.
I did have an interception
Have
last
you noticed
week, Biggers.
Have you noticed a trend, though? Most of the throws that Kendrick has had to make are tightly contested. They haven't had many easy, open targets. Boise State secondary has done a pretty good job keeping tight coverage.
Still pick up the first down on the penalty. Kendrick back for more. Arizona State transfer Porter, the receiver, once more. And that time, Caleb Biggers without a penalty.
So that was a double move. They were trying to set up Biggers there. They just attacked him. Now watch, it's a stop and go. You know, the only problem I have with this is why not hit a stop or two to set it up? Like, they've done so many double moves, but really, it's a game of chess. Like, you got to set it up. And I know they saw last week against Oregon State so many big plays. But still got to at least show them you're capable of hitting the underneath stuff first. So they start coming up, they get aggressive, and then that moment they think they're going to get that pick six, boom, then you get them fishing.
Seeing a lot of second and longs, which has not been helpful for the Lobo offense. Pitch here. Bobby Wooden showing off some running skills for a player who was listed as a running back last year, but a receiver this season for Danny Gonzalez and company.
That was a beautiful play by Miles Kendrick to get that ball off. He was under a lot of duress. You saw him get hit right there at the corner of your screen, and Bobby Wooden's able to hit the open field. That play was pretty much broken up. Boise State had it, and then Kendrick flipped it just in time.
15-yard gain, brings it to the 42, which is right around the range of George Steinkamp, the kicker for New Mexico. He has a big leg. Kendrick slips with his leg, but still gets it off to Wysong, who's escorted out of bounds. Alexander Tubner on the tackle.
So Kendrick there, remember I told you he's got to get the ball out of his hands, whether he's throwing it away. He was under pressure. And at the last minute, this is a veteran, savvy guy who's played a lot of football, knew where to get rid of it quickly. Hit his outlet perfectly.
There's George Steinkamp. Big leg. Accuracy has been the issue. His career, 6 for 12 on field goals. But again, Danny Gonzalez says he has a big leg.
He did not hesitate to say, we will try a long field goal from 60 plus if we have to.
Well, they want to get closer. And that's on Nate Jones. He's playing his first game since 2020 for New Mexico after some off-field concerns. Tyreek Jones on the tackle.
It's really a nice job by New Mexico. With some of the ball handling in the backfield, just little misdirection plays. They're almost using Boise State's pressure against them, as it looks like New Mexico's trying to play for that last possession. Let's make sure we kick a field goal or get a touchdown when that clock is running out.
Under 40 seconds. New Mexico taking their time here. They do have 2 timeouts left. Kendrick looking back the other way and gets wrapped up.
It's the one thing you cannot do in field goal range. Now they'll use the timeout. Got to find a way to get rid of that football. I don't know if he had an opportunity to.
Mexico has used their second timeout of the half. 30 seconds.
Let's see a look at Kendrick just right off the edge. Number 91 is in his face, and the backside pressure. And then there's a nose tackle sitting in his lap. It's easier said than done to find a place to throw it away. He probably got an intentional grounding, so he just had to eat it. And that's been kind of the story of the night for New Mexico. They get a little bit of something going, and then it's that setback. And they were in field goal range. Maybe now we'll get to see the length of the, maybe we'll get to see it. The leg strength of Steinkamp.
Boise State had no sacks last week against Oregon State. They wanted to correct that. Now, different style offense they're facing. They have officially 4 sacks in this game. But on the New Mexico side of things, like, how important is it to get that 3 points going into halftime in a game like this?
Huge. Remember I said Boise State 10-0, how big it was for them to get a score, and if they didn't, I thought New Mexico would be happy to go in 10-0. If they get points here, it is bonus. You're going with some confidence, some mojo, and coming out in the second half with a lot of confidence.
Remember, Boise State gets the ball to start the second half. Kendrick guns it deep down the middle. Looking end zone, but well over the head of his target.
Yeah, all these shot plays, they're not high percentage completions, and I feel like New Mexico's saying all we need is one. Just if we can just connect on one of these throws, get that big play, we are right back in this game. Where they are in the field, though, I'd like to see them try to get some more yardage here to make this field goal more manageable. And you don't have to throw the football. You could even maybe catch them sitting back in coverage, get 10 yards underneath. Got the timeout. Can't take a sack. Cannot take a sack.
Full field's open on a 3rd and 19. Kendrick himself, don't know if that was a called draw or something that he just saw, but he gets closer to the 30.
He was running that from the get-go. That was a called quarterback draw to do exactly what we talked about. Just get some positive yardage, make it a more makeable field goal. Still going to be a pretty long one here for Steinkamp, but it's all about giving an opportunity, the best opportunity to make one here before half.
So it'll be 4th down and Steinkamp to come on. Remember, New Mexico was shut out in their game against Boise State a season ago. Didn't play in 2020. They were scheduled to play here in New Mexico in a normal season. Boise State hasn't been here in Albuquerque since 2018. That's kind of a while to not go to a destination that's within your division. So George Steinkamp, again, 6 for 12 in his career. He missed an extra point last week. Danny Gonzalez had a joke saying, I don't want to hear about how you missed anymore, whether the mechanics were off or what happened. I just want you to make the kick next time. Well, he's in here to hope for New Mexico get a point against Boise State for the first time since 2019. This from 48. A whistle from the far sideline. That's Boise State sideline.
A little ice in the kicker, a little strategy here.
Boise State has used their first timeout of the half.
Kickers are a funny bunch. They're mental, like a lot of quarterbacks are too, but kickers, you play that mental mind game with them. That's what Andy Avalos is trying to do. Let Steinkamp think about it a little bit longer. I saw Danny Gonzalez go up to Steinkamp, give him a little positive encouragement. It's just longer to think about everything here. Oh my goodness, we have 0 points. I can get us 3. Just let him kind of linger and sit around on it.
And one of the things that Danny Gonzalez did tell us is that Steinkamp does have a tendency to overthink a little bit.
Yes. Most kickers do.
48 yards. George Steinkamp. And New Mexico shut out against Boise State last year, so looking for their first points against the Broncos since 2019. They didn't play in 2020. And hey, Boise State has 2 more timeouts left. There's one of them.
Right?
Boise State has used their second timeout of the half. 30 seconds in left.
Why not? There's Gonzalez. You almost feel like he's looking at Steinkamp saying, you got this. Like you want to will this for him. So you can do this.
All right, so what do you do?
One of those dicey ones. What? I was a holder for a long time. I was Mr. Positive. You got this. Try to loosen him up. Maybe make a joke even. Like, I held a kick for a national championship with Scott Bentley, was the kicker at Florida State. And before he kicked it, I said, hey, make sure you jump in my arms because I want to be in the picture when we win the national championship. Sure enough, he did. He jumped in my arms, and we were on the cover of Sports Illustrated. Like, so you want to try to do something to get his mind off it. So I don't know if they're talking to him. I think you don't want to leave him alone. Put some positive vibes on him.
Aaron Rodriguez is the holder. I don't know if he told any jokes. Isaiah Perez, the long snapper. Do kick it this time. And it's off to the right. So after all that, couple of timeouts taken, George Steinkamp has a little bit too much time to think about it, and New Mexico enters halftime without any points.
Yeah, never really had a chance. It was pretty much wide right from the get-go. It's like he was trying to draw it. You know, like a driver on a dog leg left, trying to draw it around a corner. Just didn't draw.
So New Mexico without a point against Boise State in the first half. Defenses, the story. After the break, it's Brett and the gang in New York. You're watching college football on CBS Sports Network, presented by Geico.
Way to watch all the Europa League action is back. From lineups to the final whistle, catch every goal from every match. The Europa League Golazo Show on CBS Sports Network and streaming live on Paramount Plus.
More truck owners are switching to Ram, which means more fathers are switching to Ram.
Your body's changing.
And more sons, more tailgaters, more tail waggers, more men with a lot of confidence.
Easy.
And more with not so much.
Yeah, I'm not going to fit in there.
And more guys who check straps with a firm tug and say,
that ain't going anywhere,
are switching to Ram.
Right now, during Ram Power Days, get 0% financing for 72 months on our most popular models.
Allergies don't have to be scary. Defeat allergy headaches fast with new Flonase Headache and Allergy Relief.
2 pills relieve allergy headache pain.
And the congestion that causes it. Flonase Headache and Allergy Relief. Psst, all good.
Meet Google Pixel 6a, the smarter phone that can see in the dark with night sight, fix your photos with Magic Eraser, and photograph all skin tones accurately with Real Tone. Google Pixel 6a. Switch it up and get the all-new Google Pixel.
I can over this way. I can see it.
If we lean towards this way, maybe.
Yeah, okay.
No way.
Football is better on 40-foot TVs. Just ask football's #1 fan, Travis Kelce.
Dave & Buster's, where winners watch. Can we throw in the football game?
You're going to have to ask him.
Okay. Football is better on 40-foot TVs. Just ask football's #1 fan, Travis Kelce.
Dave & Buster's, where winners watch. Can we throw in the football game?
You're going to have to ask him.
Okay. Football is better on 40-foot TVs. Just ask football's #1 fan, Travis Kelce.
Dave & Buster's, where winners watch. Yeah, I heard good things. Hello. Can we throw in the football game?
You're going to have to ask him.
Okay.
No.
Football's better on 40-foot screens. Right, Travis Kelce?
Huge TVs and lots of wings. Watch like a winner.
2-1. Plus, text now and we'll include a tube of Instaflex pain cream with its exclusive oxygenated oil for fast-acting relief from the pain of arthritis, backaches, and sore muscles. Absolutely free. Text GUARD to 321-321.
You are watching the Verizon Halftime Report on CBS Sports Network.
Hey there, welcome inside our New York studios. Brent Stover alongside Kevin Carter. Houston Nutt, former Texas head coach Tom Herman, 10-0 at the break. Boise State on the road with the lead. What are you seeing, Coach?
Defense playing great, pitching a shutout. We didn't know who's going to be the starting quarterback. Bachmeier has taken over, done a good job. Offensive line has protected well. I want you to watch this. He didn't turn the ball over. That's the biggest thing. You look right here, great protection, good pocket, throws a post right here. Receiver makes a good play, looking the ball in, and now they go to an empty set. He gets the ball out of his hands, little jerk route, boom. Ball's right there in front of the receiver, touchdown, 10-0.
We're going to have to define what a jerk route is for the audience at some point. But I think Bachmeier's playing good, Coach. Not great. You know, he's 50% right now, but what he has done, he hasn't turned the ball over. He hasn't taken a sack. He's playing New Mexico. You know, I can tell the coaching staff might be trying to get his sea legs under him a little bit after last week's performance.
Yeah, 0-7 on third down. Not real great there in the details, but this defense is playing better, as you mentioned, Coach, pitching a shutout. And I said in the pregame show, dare I say, that 5 turnovers last week had something to do with the fact that they gave him 472 total yards. But this first half, 36 plays, 64 total yards in the first half shutout since 2019. this Boise State defense is balling right now.
No doubt about it. They lead 10-0 at New Mexico at the break. The only other game tonight had Louisville hit the road to take on UCF. The Knights looking to avenge a high-scoring loss to the Cardinals last season. Pick it up in the opening quarter. This game has been competitive back and forth, Kevin.
Little geometry. Shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line for Tyon Evans. Louisville's up 7-0. Then Isaiah Bowser downhill. UCF leads 14-7, but not so fast. Malik Cunningham takes the quarterback draw, and he's off to the races. And we see a little speed all the way to the end zone. Touchdown run. Cardinals are up right now, 17-14.
Yeah, in the fourth quarter, Louisville on the road. They've added a field goal, 8:13 to play in the game. It's 20-14. Looking for their first win after they got hammered by Syracuse in the opener. Cunningham, 189 through the air, 116 on the ground. John Rice Plumlee for the Knights, 14-25 for 92. He's got 76 yards on the ground. Upon our return, we preview some of the big matchups this weekend. After beating Utah a week ago, did Anthony Richardson in Florida prove they're a real force in the SEC? Or will Kentucky and Will Levis knock the Gators back down? More to come.
With unrivaled landscapes that provide a quality of life unlike any in the country, you'll find us immersed at the peak of nature's splendor through a gateway of opportunity which leads to academic and personal growth that is beyond compare. Our students learn at the peak of achievement, and as our more than 5,000 student athletes take the field of play with unequaled passion, you'll find us performing at the peak of competition. The Mountain West is at the peak.
Out here, you're more than just a landowner. You're a gardener, a landscaper, a hunter. Because you didn't settle for ordinary. Same goes for your equipment. Versatile, powerful, durable Kubota equipment. More goes into it, so you get more out of it.
New flavors worth fanning over. They're great.
When safe drivers save for not answering their phone while driving, they feel like a big deal.
Did you get the ice?
Even if they forgot the ice. Save up to 30% on auto insurance with USAA Safe Pilot. Get a quote today.
Wow. Really, DraftKings? $1 million? You know, that's a lot of money just for picking players. You know how many jokes I got to tell to make $1 million? Probably like one, and then I think about it. But that's because I'm Kevin Hart. But for other people, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money.
Download the DraftKings app and take a free shot at $1 million with the leader in daily fantasy sports. Action's so good, why play anywhere else?
Well, no. Like a half a joke.
These targeted ads are getting really creepy.
It's almost like Skittles is listening in on our conversation.
Gain the rainbow, taste the rainbow.
The overtime went into overtime. What do? You turn to DiGiorno to be MVP. MV Pizza. Fresh baked taste. The win and move. It's not delivery, it's DiGiorno.
Welcome back. Let's preview some big games on Saturday, starting with number 20 Kentucky visiting 12th ranked Florida. The Gators coming off that massive win over Utah a week ago. Do they make it 2 ranked wins in a row, Kevin Carter?
I believe they do, and it's because of their quarterback, Anthony Richardson, was nothing short of spectacular in his 2022 debut. You look at his numbers, he's 70% efficient for 168 yards. Those aren't monster numbers, but he was a leading rusher for all Florida ground gatherers that day. Had 106 yards on 11 carries and 3 touchdowns. But the way he maintained his poise and patience in the pocket and his decision-making, that's what set him apart. That's what's different about Anthony Richardson this year.
I'm going to say this for my wife, but I was very impressed by his performance last week.
Nicely done. Top-ranked Alabama, meantime, hits the road to take on Texas. Any chance for the Longhorns to pull off a shock?
Yeah, absolutely. Any time you have Bijan Robinson in the backfield, you get a chance to win any game that you're in. He's the best tailback in the country. And as good of a tailback as he is, he's a better person. And they're going to have a chance. They will, but they've got to play great defense. That Alabama offense is running on really, really high cylinders right now.
Yeah, noon kickoff in Austin on Saturday. How about 9th-ranked Baylor taking on number 21 BYU?
Baylor, defending champions, Big 12 champions. Got a good football team, got a lot of confidence, but they've got to have that because they're playing BYU. I think they're very tough and physical. Jaron Hall threw for about 261 yards the other night. Excellent job of executing. And Baylor also can be very explosive with shaping. So this ought to be a good ball game.
10:15 Eastern in Provo, top 25 matchup. It's BYU hosting Baylor. At the half between Boise State and New Mexico, low scoring so far. The Broncos on the road leading 10-0 on this first half touchdown throw. Hank Bachmeier, 18-yard connection to Latrell Caples. More to come after this.
Old Trapper Beefs. One-upping.
I'm a big Old Trapper fan. Not bigger than me. I love Old Trapper. I love how tender it is. Don't forget the wood smoke flavor. What about the clear bag? That shows you exactly what you're getting. Savory beef. Quality ingredients. I'm their biggest fan.
Old Trapper. What's your beef?
Will you sign my bag and my tattoo?
Allergies don't have to be scary. Flonase Sensimus stops your body from overreacting to allergens with a non-drowsy, ultra-lightweight mist. Psst, psst. Flonase, all good.
We see the baby pizza crust in its natural habitat. In a few months, it will mature into a delicious, gluten-friendly cauliflower crust pizza. Take in its glory. Only at Marco's.
Took a while to get up here. We started out around 1959. Then we took a hard left in East Africa. A right at Baja. A 180 in the empty quarter. And that 65-degree incline at Hell's Revenge. But we didn't do all that just to get here. We did it to give you a truck that'll take you anywhere. This is the new Nissan.
Today, anything is possible.
Today, anything is possible. Anything is possible.
In my world, numbers are everything. But my most important stat, my sleep quality. It is vital to my mental, emotional, and physical performance. Only my Sleep Number 360 smart bed helps me fall asleep faster, keeps me cool, senses and effortlessly adjust for my best sleep. Smart sleepers like me get 28 minutes more restful sleep a night. And that means I'm at my best for me, my team, and you. And all I have to do is get game-changing sleep. Only from Sleep Number.
Kick off game day with Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Nothing beats the smooth, refreshing taste of Twisted Tea. Made with real brewed tea and just the right kick. But don't take our word for it. Ask our fans. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Keep it twisted.
Let it rain, Randy! Yeah. That's how you make like it never even happened.
Serve Pro.
Welcome back. Some notable Mountain West teams in action on Saturday, including Air Force hosting Colorado at 3:30 Eastern over on CBS. The Falcons coming off one of their best offensive performances in years, running for nearly 600 yards on the ground against Northern Iowa a week ago. Could be, Coach, a long day for the Buffaloes defense.
Could be. Anytime you can keep the ball for about 35 minutes, ball control, you're doing something. This is Brad Roberts. Brad Roberts had over 100 yards of rushing. And don't forget about Hazik Daniels. He knows how to run the triple option, guys.
Okay, and a quadruple header on CBS Sports Network Saturday concludes at 10:30 with Jake Haener and Fresno State welcoming in an Oregon State team that was able to get past Boise last week. As for Haener, he was the preseason Mountain West Offensive Player of the Year and showed why against Cal Poly in the opener, throwing for 377 and barely missed any throws, Tom.
Yeah, this is the immovable object and whatever that saying goes. But Oregon State played great defense against Boise State last week. But Jake Haener had himself a day. 36 of 42, 377 yards, 2 touchdowns. Was unbelievable as a playmaker, but I do think that Oregon State is a very, very much improved team.
Going to be fun to watch. All right, second half of our game, it's 10-0 Boise State. Again, they're sluggish to start the season. What do we expect second half?
Well, more good defense, hopefully. I mean, that keeps you in a game. If they don't score, we win, okay? And for New Mexico, you got to find a way to manufacture some offense. Only 64 total yards in the first half. Got some work to do, but this game is still in reach because there's only 10 points on the board opposing you.
That's it for us. Second half from Albuquerque is on the way next. Enjoy.
This has been the Verizon Halftime Report. Verizon, the network America relies on.
The best way to watch all the Europa League action is back. From lineups to the final whistle, catch every goal from every match. The Europa League Golazo Show on CBS Sports Network and streaming live on Paramount+.
When safe drivers save up to 30% on their auto insurance for not answering their phone while driving, they feel like a pretty big deal.
Steve, did you get the ice?
Even if they forgot the ice. Save up to 30% on auto insurance with USAA Safe Pilot. Get a quote today.
Smile Direct Club. These are Smile Direct Club aligners. They're laser cut for comfort to gently straighten teeth under a doctor's direction. They can turn a smile like this into a smile like this in as little as 4 to 6 months for less than $3 a day. So choose comfortable. Choose fast. Choose affordable. Choose smile. See how much insurance will cover at SmileDirectClub.com.
Wow, we're on Verizon now.
Yeah, Cecily, because of their new plan, One Unlimited for iPhone.
Elaborate?
It comes with Apple One. That's Apple Music, Apple TV Plus, Apple Arcade, and iCloud Plus.
All included on the network you want to be on.
Exactly. We could be up here all weekend listening to The Weeknd.
While flinging Angry Birds.
Not you. You're lovely. Are you napping?
No, I'm watching my favorite show, starring me.
The first plan with Apple One included. Introducing One Unlimited for iPhone. Only on the network America relies on. Verizon.
What if you could look forward 1 year, 4 years, 40 years? What does the future look like? How will you ignite it? This is where the future gets fueled, where ideas come to life and identities flourish. This is where we define opportunity as individuals and as a pack. Being a Lobo is about so much more than the classes you take. It's about the mark you make on your world, because the journey starts here, but it never ends. What will you ignite?
With 12 institutions nestled in the nation's most desirable destinations, you'll see us enjoying life at the peak of celebration. As you witness us not only win, but win the right way, you'll find us competing at the peak of integrity. As our more than 5,000 student athletes take the field of play with unequaled passion, you'll find us performing at the peak of competition. The Mountain West is at the peak.
Second half ready to begin in Albuquerque as Boise State with a 10-0 lead over New Mexico with Danny Cannell, Chris Lewis here, Amanda Guerra on the sideline. Defense, the name of the game in the first half.
Yeah, Chris, it's our first time together, and I'm like learning about you, and I'm trying to see if you're an offensive or defensive guy. If you're a defensive guy, you love this game, right? It's been great play in the trenches. The defensive lines have dominated the offensive lines. We've seen some solid play in the secondary too, but the offense, it has been struggle city for both sides. A game of a couple big plays here and there. Boise State was on the positive side of one of those big gainers and able to come out with the lead, but it's going to get more challenging, I think, in the second half with some of the conditions that are developing.
Danny, I'm a play-by-play announcer. I like big plays. I like big plays. That's the kind of guy I am. Let's take a look at the first half stats brought to you by Sleep Number.
Yeah, you can tell that especially for New Mexico, they've struggled to get any aspect of their offense going. And then for Boise State, thankfully, they've had Hank Bachmeier find some of his confidence back. He had the big play to Cole Wright, which was really the highlight of the first half. But the third downs have been glaring, how much they have both struggled on third down to convert.
Now, Danny, it almost feels like a different game weather-wise. At halftime, the wind just came flying through. You can see right there, gusts up to 40 miles per hour as we enter the second half.
It's wild, and both these teams have been stretching the ball through the field because they haven't been able to run it very much. Going to make it even more challenging to complete some of those longer passes down the field.
25-yard line for Boise State to begin. Let's hear from Amanda.
Chris, I was able to talk to both coaches at halftime. Let's start with Boise State. Coach Avalo says he's really pleased with Hank Bachmeier's performance, that he's been able to execute exactly what they worked on in practice. He does want to see him get a little bit stronger against this defense, though, the more he sees it. I also want to mention that number 53, Marco Notarini, he is out with a left knee injury. We saw him get hurt on special teams earlier in this game. Now, as for New Mexico, Coach Gonzalez says it's simple. Blocking, 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 getting open on one-on-one coverage, but he thinks if they can get some plays, some turnovers, they're right back in this game.
Well, their first chance to force a turnover, with Boise State having the football to begin half number 2. Bachmeier under center, the flip back to Cobbs with space. Jets across the 20, or the 30, I should say, loses the helmet as Dante Martin came flying in and looking like, was it Jason Witten back in the day, was running without that helmet.
That's right. Well, Boise State hasn't been able to get Helani going too much. They're trying to get to the perimeter, get a little bit creative, get some athletes on the outside. That was a nice little gain on first down to get a much better second and short here. Hopefully get a third and manageable as well.
It's 2nd and 3. And off Helani. Run designed up the middle, cuts it outside, navigates back towards the 35-yard line, brushing up against the first down, just short of it. Derek Reed, credit for the tackle.
This New Mexico defense really done an outstanding job getting a lot of bodies quickly to the ball. Helani hasn't had many places to go. He's pretty powerful back, and Lobos knew that coming into this game.
Only 25 yards on 10 carries for George Helani. 0 for 7 on third downs in the first half. Boise State has a 3rd and 1. Helani once more, give him the first down. Zaire Riley on the tackle for New Mexico.
Just coming right up the heart of the defense. Nice job on number 75, Will Farrar, leading the way right up the middle. He's a guy who was not expected to play from us. He's kind of a swing backup offensive lineman, backup guard and center, typically on the left side. Tonight playing on the right side of that offensive line at right guard.
Smith, the motion tight end on 1st and 10. Bachmeier dances around a sack, but is wrapped up and drops back at the 29. Justin Harris leading the Lobo pack.
There's a little play action. Nobody open, tries to get out to the outside. Bouncing against his own lineman. And pretty good job coverage sack here. Not a lot of space to go with the football. When you're a quarterback under duress, it's hard to find somebody. And unless they're wide open, it's tough to keep your eyes downfield. And Bachmeier just had guys in his lap.
Off the first sack of the game for New Mexico. It's 2nd down, 17 to go. Helani's busy and brought down with a big shoulder of Tavian Combs.
That was a pretty nice hit right there. Coming up from the secondary. Helani, nice cutback, sees the cutback lane. You see number 7 come in. Tavian Combs. Maybe a little careful with that helmet-to-helmet contact. And this is why Boise State, both teams have struggled actually. A lot of 3rd and 10 plus. Percentages aren't great.
After no 3rd down conversions in the first half, looking for their 2nd on this drive. Bachmeier, high pass, incomplete. Davis Cutter around the 45-yard line was the intended receiver, and it's 4th down.
Really impressed with this New Mexico defense. Getting pressure, making Hank Bachmeier a little bit uncomfortable. He has some time, slides to his left. He has nowhere to go with the football. Nowhere. And then you get the late pressure. He's got to get rid of it somewhere. Forces it a little bit of a high throw to number 17 and almost got the tip interceptions. That's exactly what Danny Gonzalez was talking about. We need to get some turnovers, create some momentum, get good field position.
James Ferguson Reynolds. Luke Wysong does want to return this one, but is plopped down as soon as he caught it. Boise State special teams all over that. Time now for Pound to Pound, Pound for Pound, brought to you by Rogue Fitness.
This has been a defensive battle. Miles Kendrick been running for his life most of the night, and give a lot of credit to the Boise State front 7. Been playing on the other side of the line of scrimmage. Guys like Scott Matlock, number 95, 99, 95, his backup. Obashir getting in on some fun there. But the offensive lines for both teams have struggled to protect their quarterbacks. You know, these shot plays, we've seen New Mexico try so many of them. They're not going to get any easier with some of the windy conditions now.
So they keep it on the ground, and Kendrick is clipped down right at the line of scrimmage. Caleb Biggers.
Yeah, coming off the corner blitz.
So Miles Kendrick talked about his struggles to end that half, 2 for his last 10.
Well, that's why I think you saw a little designed quarterback run there. They're really trying to get creative. Derek Wareheim, the offensive coordinator for New Mexico, just trying to kind of throw the kitchen sink at them. Misdirection, quarterback draw, try a speed sweep, let's take our shots. They just have not been able to get that big play, or any play, really. It's been a struggle.
With Jones, the running back. Late play clock. Do get the snap off. 4-man rush. Kendrick escapes and throws it away.
Smart, nowhere to go with the football. He knew he was out. Nowhere to go with the football. He knew he was outside the pocket. All he had to do was get it to the line of scrimmage. He did that. I would love to say he kept it in a good position, but 3rd and 12 is still not great. But it's better than 3rd and 20, I guess, right?
Better than a turnover as well.
Both these teams have lived in these 3rd and longs all night. Again, not a lot of plays. So they're only getting 3 guys out. One of them's a back on an outlet because they're trying to use offensive linemen to protect. But Boise State's able to get pressure with 5 and 6 rushers and keep guys on the back end. So you're getting wide receivers doubled in coverage.
3rd down pressure. Kendrick has no options. Scott Matlock, the first there, Danny. You've highlighted him all night long.
He has been an absolute force on the interior. When we talked to New Mexico yesterday, there he is right there. Just coming right in that A gap again. He's been living in that A gap. That's the gap between the center and the guard. You got to get a body on him somehow. It's one of those ones where you're like, hey, even just try to hold him once. If we get a holding call, it's not the end of the world. They just have not been able to even get anything going.
Aaron Rodriguez, Danny, you said, has been the offensive MVP. This one's blocked. There was 2 block kicks for Boise State last year against New Mexico. They do it again for a touchdown. Andrew Simpson blocked it, and Boise State has a special team score.
Boise State has been getting so much pressure from so many different spots when they're on offense, their defensive line. Now in special teams, able to come through too.
That's Devin Wright. Right on top of it. Puts a smile on the coach's face. Third block punt in the last 2 matchups for Boise State against New Mexico, and they have a 17-0 lead. Special teams, a yearly staple for the Broncos. They do it again, this time in Albuquerque. Right, with the right place, right time.
FanDuel is dropping you in the middle of all the fantasy football action all season long. Right now, new customers get a free entry into a single game contest for a share of millions in prizes. It's easy to build a team in minutes. And from single game to season-long contests, you can take home W's all year long. Make every moment more FanDuel.
New flavors worth fanning over. They're great.
One shake and cats come running.
Found matches.
So be careful what you shake.
Run away!
Temptations cat treats. All it takes is a shake.
More truck owners are switching to Ram, which means more fathers are switching to Ram.
Your body's changing.
And more sons, more tailgaters, more tail waggers, more men with a lot of confidence.
Easy.
And more with not so much.
Yeah, I'm not gonna fit in there.
And more guys who check straps with a firm tug and say,
that ain't going anywhere,
are switching to Ram.
Right now, during Ram Power Days, get 0% financing for 72 months on our most popular models.
When you start with better ingredients, better pizza, you also get better papadillas, better cheese sticks, better yummy this, and better tasty that.
With this, or you can get with that.
Get any two or more for just $6.99 each. That's Papa John's.
Meet Google Pixel 6a, the smarter phone that can see in the dark with Night Sight, fix your photos with Magic Eraser, and photograph all skin tones accurately with Real Tone. Google Pixel 6a. Switch it up and get the all-new Google Pixel 6a on us.
Once again, Boise State, New Mexico, special teams a huge factor. Last year, couple of punt blocked, return for touchdowns. Tyreek Jones on that one. New Mexico, to be fair, they had to do a lot of punting in that game. They didn't move the ball very well. Herbert, the touchdown. And then tonight, Boise State gets one more. Simpson the block, and Wrights on time.
It's that third area of the game. You got offense, defense, and special teams. That's, I think, where you see the kind of the depth of the roster show up, where Boise State has an advantage over a New Mexico program trying to build and get to a place where Boise is.
So a 17-point lead for Boise State. New Mexico tries to answer. Andy Avalos. Sir, not smiling there a couple of minutes ago. Yeah, he had that grin. It's something the team kind of needed. The offense stuck a little bit up against a strong defense. You get that special team score for some breathing room.
Big time. The first offensive possession wasn't great. Their defense has been playing so well. And you didn't have many points to show for it. Now you got a little bit of room to breathe, but they would like to really put this game out of hand.
Well, Sherrod White's the running back here as Kendrick starts to drive from his 25. Roll out and drops. Luke Wyson has it slip through his hands. So the ball hits the turf. Let's go to the turf for Amanda Guerra.
Chris, thank you. All right, Danny Cannell, this update's for you because you want the mood on the sideline here. So I'm here with New Mexico, and I will say, despite what happened on that last possession, they're not out of this game yet. They have players on the sideline firing one another up. They're saying, we are in a war right now. We are here to win. So they're still in this, at least mentally.
I love it, Amanda. I actually, while you were talking, Danny Gonzalez was walking up and down the bench, talking to his defense, saying, hey, you guys are playing great. Keep it up. All it takes is one big play like a Bach punt. They just need one big play their way as opposed to the big plays have all been Boise's way.
There's a big hit, Caleb Biggers, and then stares down the ball handler, and the flag comes out.
That's really frustrating for a coach. You tell your players all the time, don't be stupid, don't make foolish penalties. And that was just a dumb penalty.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, number one of the defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down. That is number one's first unsportsmanlike towards disqualification.
All right, make a good play, open field tackle, great tackle. He does a little, see his teammate? I actually like that. His teammate, see Tebner there, it's like, hey man, go, let's go, come on back. He's pumping him up, and then he's like, come on, let's go. Get out of there. Don't do something stupid. And then sure enough, he just lingers a little bit too long over him. And now look where he is. He's on the bench. I'm sure that's what Andy Avalos said. All right, come have a think about it for a second.
Can't say he wasn't warned. Kendrick, slant, step in front. Jordan Porter.
He just cannot find any rhythm. Remember the play before when you saw Wysong, it was right in his hands, dropped it. And that one, you got to step, and you're just out in front with the throw. It's just really been a challenge for this New Mexico offense to find any rhythm. And that ball's there. If you stick it on his belly, right in his chest pads, that's a pretty easy completion. But I tell you what, it's a struggle. When you are not able to set your feet and you don't know if the protection's going to be there, it's going to throw you off your game.
6 for 21. Not pretty numbers. Pitch to Wysong. Wysong tries to slither through a couple. Boise State's defense once again on top of it. Ahmad Hassanin making an impact here in the second half.
Hassanin, number 91, just draws this play out. You see him crash inside, then strings it out. Remember we talked about getting to run sideways? That's pretty good lateral movement from a defensive end. Pretty good quickness. That's what you mentioned it earlier, Chris. This Boise State, their defense has not been the problem. Last year they were one of the better defenses in the country. For sure the Mountain West, at least statistically. Just their offensive struggles, and their defense looks pretty legit this year too.
Where did the Lobos go on third down? The answer backwards. Isaiah Banya.
Did he just run over somebody, like walk a blocker into the quarterback's lap? And then tackle him with that blocker? Here he is, working on the left tackle. I mean, that's a side. He walks him right back into his lap, gets that left arm around. Number 66, Tavian Ford. You got some better leverage than that. You have a significant size advantage. Stand your ground, but great effort from Banya.
8-yard loss. Put him in the weight room.
Set that anchor down. I mean, there was no anchor. He was on skates.
Last punt was blocked. Rodriguez gets this one off. Cobbs watches it roll inside the 20, towards the 10, all the way down to the 7, maybe even the 6. Mark at the 7. The Boise State fans that made the trip, they have a lot to smile about.
Meet Leon the Third, Leon the Second, and Leon the First of them all. 3 generations who all bank differently with Chase. Leon's saving up for his first set of wheels. Nice try. Really? This Leon's paying for his paint job on the spot. And this Leon, as a Chase private client, he's in the south of France taking out cash with no ATM fees. That's because this family of Leons has Chase.
Actually, it's Leon.
Ooh la la. One bank for now, for later, for life.
Can we throw in the football game?
You're gonna have to ask him.
Okay.
Football is better on 40-foot TVs. Just ask football's #1 fan, Travis Kelce.
Dave and Buster's, where winners watch. Can we throw in the football game?
You're gonna have to ask him.
Okay.
Football is better on 40-foot TVs. Just ask football's #1 fan, Travis Kelce.
Dave and Buster's, where winners watch.
I can see it. If we lean towards this way, maybe.
Yeah, okay. No way.
Football is better on 40-foot TVs. Just ask football's #1 fan, Travis Kelce.
Dave and Buster's, where winners watch.
If
This table is good.
I'm so ready.
Oh my God, why is no one sitting?
I am so ready.
All right.
It's okay. Fine. It's fine.
Yeah. It's only one person.
It's two people.
If we lean towards this way, maybe.
Yeah, okay. No way.
What?
I want big.
Football's better on 40-foot screens. Right, Travis Kelce?
Dave & Buster's, where winners watch.
As they go head-to-head for national pride. On a stadium racetrack in front of one of the world's most iconic cities. More speed, more adrenaline, more rivalries. Watch Quentin Delapierre lead the France Sail GP team on home waters at the France Sail Grand Prix on CBS Sports Network.
Halfway through the third, University Stadium in Albuquerque. Danny, I know on your Cover 3 podcast, you've talked a lot about this college football playoff expansion.
That is fire. That news right there, as the kids say. That's the best news I've heard in college football in the last decade. Let's get more access to the playoffs instead of this 4-team invitational. And let's give programs like Boise State, think about how many times they would have had an opportunity to play for a national championship in a 12-team playoff for the last 20 years. I absolutely love it.
And that last one, 6 highest ranked conference champions, which really does give a boost to the group of 5. More on that after this play here for Boise State deep in their own territory. George Alani has been active in this second half, but tackled right near the line of scrimmage. So Commissioner Craig Thompson, of course, he's been on the ground floor lobbying for something like this. His quote, he's thrilled for college football student athletes, coaches, fans, for the betterment of college football overall, as it provides potential better access for the Mountain West champion.
I think the key word there, I love it. Craig Thompson been pushing this for a long time, but potential access, not a guarantee. Still have to play your way in, still have to be one of the top 12 teams in the country, but they've deserved this opportunity for so long.
Second down, 8 to go. Bachmeier tackled back near the 5. Cody Moon, a linebacker out of Albuquerque.
You know, I'd like to excuse some of this offensive line play early in the season, develop continuity. They've got some injuries up front, but these are just losing battles up front. You know, from both sides, both teams are really struggling to provide any protection. And early in the season, it is easier for the defense to go get the quarterback than the continuity passing off guys on the offensive line. But still, this is pretty inexcusable, and there's going to be some coaching up in those film rooms.
Well, Danny, you said the importance of New Mexico forcing a turnover. Here's a chance here on a 3rd and 11. Boise State recognizes, sets up the screen. Alani stops, accelerates. He needed the 17. Doesn't get there. Ray Luatele for New Mexico makes the tackle after an 8-yard pickup.
And that, Chris, was a reflection of exactly what you said. Hey, New Mexico could use a turnover. That was a, let's make sure this is a pass that cannot be intercepted. Let's give our guy a chance in space. If he makes a first down, great. If not, our defense has been dominant. We'll go ahead and punt it away, and we'll be fine.
This is the kind of game you get when you have 2 defensive head coaches going at it.
Yes.
Andy Avalos and Danny Gonzalez. Another Ferguson Reynolds punt. Fair catch, Wysong. And he's marked at the 36. Can the Lobos climb the scoring column?
Buying a home? Then you've got a lot on your mind. Now rising rates? Phew, it's a lot. But with Rocket, you have an advantage. You can lock your rate for 90 days while you search for a home. If rates rise, yours is safe. But if they fall within 3 years of buying, you can refinance to a new, lower rate with exclusive savings. We'll help you lock it and drop it so you can buy today. That's the Rocket Advantage. Lock your rate today. Call 8336-ROCKET or visit therocketadvantage.com.
The overtime went into overtime.
What do? You turn to DiGiorno to be MVP. MV Pizza. Fresh baked taste. The winning move. It's not delivery, it's DiGiorno.
When safe drivers save for not answering their phone while driving, they feel like a big deal.
Did you get the ice?
Even if they forgot the ice. Save up to 30% on auto insurance with USAA Safe Pilot. Get a quote today.
Old Trapper Beefs. Last bag.
You know there's plenty for both of you.
Old Trapper, what's your beef?
Smile Direct Club is heavily guided by a team of doctors, and I feel confident recommending Smile Direct to my patients because I've experienced it myself.
Start your doctor-directed care at SmileDirectClub.com.
Smile Direct Club. Technically, when enamel is gone, you cannot get it back, but there are ways you can repair it. I'm excited about Pronamel Repair because it penetrates deep into the tooth to help actively repair acid-weakened enamel. I recommend Pronamel Repair to my patients.
First time in 42 years with the red helmets, the cherry helmets for New Mexico. Looking good. The scoreboard doesn't look good for New Mexico, down 17 here on the Redouts in Albuquerque. Lobos have a chance here. Football, good field position to start a drive from the 37. Flag before the snap. Had good field position to start the drive.
False start, number 67, offense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Isaac Gutierrez backs him up.
It's hard enough when your offense is struggling as much as they are. And then
Clock
you throw
operator,
in a...
please reset the game clock to 5:18, 5:18.
Oh, thank goodness we got that 1 second back on.
Every second counts, Danny.
Oh, man. Yeah, 1st and 15. And you've already started so many drives with negative plays on first down. You can't afford those mental errors.
Wysong, like a backward pass. Tries to shimmy through the first tackle, does not as Oladipo finds him. So Miles Kendrick throws it and it's caught, even though that's a run attempt.
Yes, a little backwards pitch. He really hasn't had much opportunity tonight. Couple throws were errant, but for the majority of the night, he's been running for his life, trying to find windows. He really just hasn't got much help around him. There hasn't been much separation, and that's a result of what you're looking at here in this stat of just 1 yard per play. It doesn't even feel like that. It feels like negative, right? They just have not had many positive plays.
It's fun to
I just wonder on that backwards pass you just saw, like that backwards pitch, I wonder if they're setting up something. Maybe a double pass.
Wooden makes the snatch. DJ Schramm brings him down immediately. And once again, 3rd down and long for New Mexico.
I know in most offenses, you know, you have your play sheet and you have all these different categories, 3rd and short, 3rd and 3 to 5, 3rd and 6 to 10, and then you have, 3rd and 10 plus, 3rd and 11 plus. I would imagine they're running out of plays to run in these 3rd and longs because they've tried them all. They are hard to execute, though.
There's the 3rd down numbers, rough for both teams. New Mexico still looking to cross that 50-yard mark. 3rd down, incomplete. Behind Nate Jones, who got the start at running back for New Mexico.
And Boise State brings 5 with pressure. And you see the linebacker, DJ Schramm, wisely saw the back coming out of the backfield, stays with him. And that's just great coverage and good pressure. It's been a constant theme for Boise State's front 7 against this New Mexico offensive line in front.
How about punt number 8 for Aaron Rodriguez? One of them blocked. Recovered for Boise State for a touchdown. This one's fair caught inside the 15 by Stephon Cobbs. Boise State a chance to increase their lead when we return.
When we were young, had mentors that helped us to believe in ourselves, that we could achieve our dreams with hard work and sacrifice. The USTA Foundation, through education and tennis programs, are doing just that, with hundreds of thousands of under-resourced kids across the nation served. So let's join them to help. This Saturday and Sunday, Jersey Mike's will donate 20% of all sales to the USTA Foundation. Together, we always make a difference.
Meet Google Pixel 6a, the smarter phone that can see in the dark with night sight, fix your photos with Magic Eraser, and photograph all skin tones accurately with Real Tone. Google Pixel 6a. Switch it up and get the all-new Google Pixel 6a on us.
These targeted ads are getting really creepy.
It's almost like Skittles is listening in on our conversation.
Gain the rainbow, taste the rainbow. More truck owners are switching to Ram, which means more fathers are switching to Ram.
Your body's changing.
And more sons, more tailgaters, more tail waggers, more men with a lot of confidence.
Easy.
And more with not so much.
Yeah, I'm not gonna fit in there.
And more guys who check straps with a firm tug and say,
that ain't going anywhere,
are switching to Ram.
Right now, during Ram Power Days, get 0% financing for 72 months on our most popular models.
Oh, Marco's Pepperoni Magnifico. Classic and old world pepperoni on one pizza, and a large is just $9.99? The phrase slice of heaven comes to mind. Marco's, pizza lovers, get it.
Let me be direct. Some people are paying more than double for teeth straightening with Invisalign. With Smile Direct Club, you get a doctor-directed smile you love for 60% less. That's a lot less. Like a lot. Choose Smile, choose Direct. Smile Direct Club.
Boise State up 3 possessions. Against New Mexico. Tonight's Geico difference makers starting on the Boise State defense, George Tarlas.
George Tarlas, we saw him right from the get-go have a phenomenal night with pressure, and he's been in the backfield all night long. And in the offensive side of the ball, our Geico difference maker, it's got to be the quarterback. There hasn't been much for Boise State, but the great news for them is Hank Bachmeier feels like he's back to his normal self. Beautiful deep ball, a couple of them. Capel's underneath where he read out 4 verticals down the field, and then the beautiful pass to Cole Wright down the side. Excuse me, that's Billy Bowens on the sideline there. Some really nice deep balls that he's been able to connect on. And similar to Miles Kendrick, he's been under a lot of pressure all night. So able to at least feel good about your quarterback situation right now for Boise State.
This game was really a defining moment for Hank Bachmeier coming off of last week. Here on first down, checks down to the true freshman Ashton Genty, brought down at the 21. So Danny, going back, Hank Bachmeier's first career game, remember his true freshman starter against Florida State.
Oh, you're going to bring that up, aren't you?
Had to bring that up.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, he went to Tallahassee, and I was like, who is this true freshman just torching us? Got the win. It was impressive what Hank Bachmeier did. And his career's been a little mixed bag. Like, you've seen moments. If he could just get a little more consistent, you can see Boise State right back in the mix where they were the preseason pick for the Mountain West Mountain Division favorite.
Genty showing off some of that explosiveness. The 4-star recruit. Boise State excited about his possibilities down the line.
Yeah, Genty getting off to the right side, and a rare mistake for Nevada to lose contained there, as he's able to get to the outside and have a nice, that's one of the bigger gains we've seen of the night on the ground for Boise State.
To Lone Star High School in Texas. Had 6 catches in the opener, which is the 3rd most by a Boise State running back since 2015. Gets the carry again, and Genty spins, has first down yardage. The explosive freshman Ashton Genty keeps it churning for close to 50.
You can see it, Chris, and you just noticed it. Genty he's got a little gear to him. Just those subtle moves, nice spin move. We've talked about New Mexico doing such a good job wrapping up, getting multiple guys to the ball. Well, it's tough to get your arms wrapped around Genty.
Genti, 29 yards. Helani, the lead back, with 38. Genti, for the third time in a row, runs through a tackle, keeps the legs moving, finally wrestled out of bounds with a flag around the 35. Looked like it could be a horse collar on Jarek Reed. And boy, what lightning in a bottle is Ashton Genti.
Boise State might have found something here. And Tim Plow is realizing it, feeding the rock to the hot back right now in Genti. It's either a horse collar or a face mask towards the end there. There was definitely, just run the toss. Makes the safety miss.
Personal foul, face mask, number 9, defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
It looked like he got more of the horse collar to me on replay.
I thought so too. I didn't see much of the helmet. It's so hard to see when you're official on the outside. These guys are coming so fast, and it did look like, if you watch it full time and you're watching on the field, it looked like there was a face mask grab, but
same result.
Yeah.
Now, of course, horse collar, you're used to seeing it from behind, but it's really any opening on that collar.
I think you keep. Oh, now they got Helani back in there. I don't know. Genti was running so nice. They're going to try to set up a shot play.
Cutter, the receiver, to the right. Flip back to Billy Bowens. Has Hopper leading the way on a block. Bowens cuts it up the field. Picks up first down yardage inside the 10. Dante Martin finally brings him down, but Boise State has a first and goal.
Really nice execution by Boise State on the reverse. Great blocking down the field.
And Boise State in the red zone. And tonight's red zone is brought to you by Verizon. Only 2 touchdowns and 6 strips so far. And remember last week, a couple of relatively short missed field goals for Jonah Dalmas, who was one of the best in the nation a year ago. And Hank Bachmeier looks to the sidelines before that play clock expires. Burns a timeout.
Has used their first timeout of the second half. 30 seconds.
So Boise State on the move with a minute to play in the third. So get to tonight's Surf Pro, first responder. And Ashton Genti has been the man on this drive.
All we've talked about is the struggles for both offenses, and Ashton Genti comes in, and all of a sudden it's like the Boise State offense just woke up, provided an extra element of speed and quickness and agility, and a few big runs has Boise State knocking on the door and really start to open up this game and start being able to breathe a little bit easier with a 24-point lead as opposed to this 17-point lead.
From Doug Martin to Jay Ajayi, Jeremy McNichols, Boise State knows running backs. They've had quite a few all-conference caliber backs, George Helani among them. He's in the backfield here. First and goal. Helani, patient, slices through and gets to the 4. Tavian Combs for the Lobos on the tackle.
This was a concern for New Mexico with a defense that's still young. They're still working a lot of guys. The depth, they're starting to, been on the field a long time. They played so well, and now it just feels like they're Boise State's starting to lean on them a little bit, establish that line of scrimmage. All of a sudden, you're seeing push, creating some holes for these running backs.
The 2 backs have combined for 20 carries in this game, Helani and Genti. Second and goal. Bachmeier play action to the flat. Riley Smith, before he could stretch that ball out, Jarek Reed found him. That game clock will wind down, and Boise State has no intention of running a play before the end of this third.
It's kind of rare. Both of these teams play pretty methodical, slower pace, use that play clock. It's been pretty fast 3 quarters.
You have 2 defensive head coaches, Andy Avalos and Danny Gonzalez, not to mention Rocky Long in the booth for New Mexico. You knew you'd get a game like this. Low scoring. You're watching college football on CBS Sports Network, presented by Geico.
Watch the Champions League is back. Our whole squad is here, so kick back and soak it all up. The UEFA Champions League Golazo Show on CBS Sports Network and streaming live on Paramount+.
Meet three sisters, the drummer, the dribbler, and the daydreamer. The dribbler's getting hands-on practice with her Chase First Banking debit card. The drummer's making savings simple with a tap. Round of applause. And this dreamer, well, she's still learning how to budget, so Mom keeps her alerts on full volume.
Hey!
What? It's true. And that's all thanks to Chase First Banking. Freedom for kids, control for parents. One bank with tools for both, all with no monthly service fee. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Since being the first to make wipers over a century ago, Trico has protected drivers in all kinds of weather. Torrential downpours, gale force winds, wintry blasts, even when it's raining cats and dogs. Hey, who came up with that phrase anyway? Just imagine if it actually started... Alright. No matter what the conditions, Trico wipers maintain maximum windshield contact. For safe, clear driving visibility, be prepared for whatever Mother Nature throws at you.
Can we throw in the football game?
You're gonna have to ask him.
Okay. Football is better on 40-foot TVs. Just ask football's #1 fan, Travis Kelce.
Dave and Buster's, where winners watch. Can we throw in the football game?
You're gonna have to ask him.
Okay. Football is better on 40-foot TVs. Just ask football's #1 fan, Travis Kelce.
Dave and Buster's, where winners watch. Can we throw in the football game?
You're gonna have to ask him.
Okay. Football is better on 40-foot TVs. Just ask football's #1 fan, Travis Kelce.
Dave and Buster's, where winners watch.
This table is
good. I'm so ready.
Oh my God, why is no one ready?
I am so ready.
All right.
It's okay. Fine. It's fine.
Yeah, it's only one person.
It's two people.
If we lean towards this way, maybe.
Yeah, okay. No way.
What?
I want big.
Football's better on 40-foot screens. Right, Travis Kelce?
Dave and Buster's, where winners watch.
Guarantee. Let them show you for free how awesome your hair could look with an absolutely free information kit and a gift card for $250 off. Scan the QR code. Don't wait. Scan the code now and ask about the Bosley Guarantee.
Here in the fourth, Boise State, 10 in the second, a block punt for a touchdown in the third. And trying to tack on some more to start the fourth. Chris Lewis, Danny Cannell, Amanda Guerra on the sideline. Let's see how Boise State has controlled this game. They have a third down and goal from the 3. Bachmeier floats, Halani cuts up the field, nobody home, touchdown Boise State.
And what a great play call from Tim Plow. All the action, watch the receivers coming off screen to the right, and then you sneak out Halani going to the left. All the action was flowing the other direction, really pulled that New Mexico defense with it. And Halani just comes sneaking out of the backfield. That's about as easy a touchdown pass as you'll get for Bachmeier.
6th career touchdown catch for the running back, George Halani. His first touchdown of the year, and Hank Bachmeier has thrown a couple of touchdowns as well. Bachmeier, he's back. And perhaps the Broncos are too.
Bryce, they let you off campus.
What's going on,
Because
Timo?
you know when I was the first ever sophomore to win the Heisman.
What's up, Bryce? Go, 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 go.
What's going on here? Just a little friendly competition, you know.
That's cute, Derek, but the competition was reps.
Just can't read this guy.
Come on, let's go. For your destiny.
The Overtime went into overtime. What do? You turn to DiGiorno to be MVP. MV Pizza. Fresh baked taste. The win and move. It's not delivery, it's DiGiorno.
Smile Direct Club. These are Smile Direct Club aligners. They can turn a smile like this into a smile like this in as little as 4 to 6 months for less than $3 a day. Choose Smile. Get started for free at SmileDirectClub.com.
In my world, numbers are everything. But my most important stat, my sleep quality. It is vital to my mental, emotional, and physical performance. Only my Sleep Number 360 smart bed helps me fall asleep faster, keeps me cool, senses, and effortlessly adjust for my best sleep. Smart sleepers like me get 28 minutes more restful sleep a night, and that means I'm at my best for me, my team, and you. And all I have to do is get game-changing sleep, only from Sleep Number.
How do they make Starburst taste so juicy?
I don't know. But you just asked the whole universe.
Humans are asking for juice. And we are the juice.
Starburst, unexplainably juicy. Psst, psst.
Allergies don't have to be scary. Spraying Flonase daily stops your body from overreacting to allergens all season long. Psst, psst. Flonase, all good.
College football on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by ServPro, the #1 choice in cleanup and restoration. By Marco's, pizza lovers get it. And by Geico, save even more when you bundle home and car insurance.
Those are the Boise State victories in the Mountain West Championship games. Hank Bachmeier wanting to lead Boise State back there this season and getting another win. Right there talking with offensive coordinator Tim Plow. Boise State 24-0 on the road against New Mexico. And Christian Washington brings this one out. Washington bounces off a couple. It gets across the 30-yard line to the 31. Let's go back to the touchdown.
This is great play design. They got a trips to the left. Watch these three receivers all come across. And notice where Helani is lined up on the right side. Well, as those receivers all go to the right, you just see the New Mexico defense start flowing that way. Helani sneaks right underneath, and nobody accounts for him. Again, a layup there for Helani and Bachmeier. Beautiful play design by Tim Plow.
See Helani's numbers there. Not the most explosive game that Helani has had. But certainly the Broncos will take the 24-0 lead. And Kendrick back through the air where he struggled. That time right on the money. Jordan Porter. How about that for New Mexico? Where's that been all night? Completed by number 8, Jordan Porter.
They have tried so many of these. They've been over. All it would take was one. They knew this. That's why they didn't take so many shots. What a beautiful pass from Miles Kendrick. Hits Porter right in stride. That is exactly what New Mexico needed. They're not going to drive the length of the field. They weren't going to protect Kendrick long. Give me that big shot play, and they got it.
69 yards. New Mexico did not score against Boise State in last year's meeting. They didn't meet in 2020. So this is the first points that they scored against Boise State since 2019. Miles Kendrick to the Arizona State transfer, Jordan Porter. New Mexico finds the scoring column.
If drivers save for not answering their phone while driving, they feel like a big deal.
Did you get the ice?
Even if they forgot the ice. Save up to 30% on auto insurance with USAA Safe Pilot. Get a quote today.
New flavors worth fanning over.
I have to do this to see. I could see it. If we lean towards this way, maybe.
Yeah, okay. No way.
Football is better on 40-foot TVs. Just ask football's #1 fan, Travis Kelce.
Dave & Buster's, where winners watch.
Come over this way.
This just kind of see it.
If we lean towards this way, maybe.
Yeah, okay.
No way.
Football is better on 40-foot TVs. Just ask football's #1 fan, Travis Kelce.
Dave & Buster's, where winners watch. Yeah, I heard good things. Hello. Can we throw in the football game?
You're gonna have to ask him.
Okay. No.
Football's better on 40-foot screens. Right, Travis Kelce?
Huge TVs and lots of wings. Watch like a winner. Yeah, I heard good things. Hello. Can we throw in the football game?
You're gonna have to ask him.
Okay. No.
Football's better on 40-foot screens. Right, Travis Kelce?
Huge TVs and lots of wings. Watch like a winner.
Work.
Boise State 24-7 leads. New Mexico just got the touchdown strike, and we have a quadruple header tomorrow, starting at noon Eastern. Reigning Conference USA champions, UTSA, they battle Army, followed by Memphis against Navy. Then at 7, Syracuse clashes with UConn. And then it's a Pac-12 versus Mountain West nightcap. Oregon State, Fresno State, right here on CBS Sports Network. Jake Haener, the Mountain West Offensive Player of the Year, has a chance at that same defense that Hank Bachmeier a week ago struggled against.
Yeah, he's going to have a big opportunity against a pretty good Oregon State team.
Boise State lets that one fly through the end zone. Let's go down to the sidelines. Nope, we'll check first before we go down to Amanda. There's a flag down. So we'll check the penalty. As New Mexico had 9 of them in their 41-0 win against Maine a week ago. That was one of the areas that they were unhappy with. And that flag was thrown at around 26, which is interesting. No return on the play. Boise State pretty much called off the return as soon as that ball was kicked.
Yeah, I didn't see any tussle after the play or some sort of, personal foul.
Albuquerque native Danny Gonzalez getting the explanation.
Personal foul. Illegal block below the waist. Number 10, return team. That penalty is declined. First down.
All right, now let's go to Amanda.
Well, Chris, in celebration of the upcoming Hispanic Heritage Month, but something also we just want to shed light on tonight, New Mexico head coach Danny Gonzalez and Boise State head coach Andy Avalos are just 2 of only 5 Latino coaches in all of FBS. So it is both special and unique that they're on either sideline tonight. Both take a lot of pride in their heritage. Avalos says it plays a part in the way he represents himself, his family, the university. Want to mention the other 3, UNLV's Marcus Arroyo, Miami's Mario Cristobal, and Dave Aranda at Baylor.
Good stuff, Amanda. You have 3 of them in the Mountain West with, mentioned UNLV and Marcus Arroyo. Harani on the toss, first down, sidesteps through a handful of tackles, and one of his most impressive runs so far this season.
All of a sudden, the run game has opened up for Boise State. Offensive line starting to create some holes. And you got some pretty good backs in the backfield. Genty before, now Holani, who's really their workhorse. They want to get him going. They know this offense really fuels around his ability to get the ball going on the ground.
Here's carry number 16 off the left edge. And gobbled down. Short gain on the play.
This is an interesting spot for Boise because they felt like, okay, 24-0, feeling good, breathe a sigh of relief, and then a quick big play for New Mexico, and then it's like right back to where you were. You got to go back with kind of that more aggressive mindset of, all right, we need another score. Let's not let this team hang around. And with a critical 3rd and 1 here, it's an opportunity for New Mexico to really put some pressure on Boise State. If they can get off the field and give the ball back to their offense.
3rd and 1. Roll out for Bachmeier. Helani bobbles and catches. 40-yard line to the 41. First down, Boise State. Justin Harris on the Lobo tackle, move the chains.
That was a great job. Great play call by Tim Plow again. Just a little play action, getting out, getting your back in open space. And Bachmeier knew as soon as that end was in his face, you got an easy layup, just got to endure a little bit of a hit, and Helani gets the first down.
Last drive for Boise State, a touchdown drive. Took 8 plays, 5 of them were on the ground. Ashton Genty was a big factor on that drive. He's in here on a first down. He gets the check down and cuts it up the field with space in the Lobo territory inside the 40-yard line as Ashton Genty continues to showcase his skills before Odoms brings him down.
And now starting to find some rhythm. Bachmeier looking down the field, comes to his check down, and Genty has really been elusive. He's been fun to watch run the ball.
Only had 16 yards on the ground in the opener. That one was a reception for the freshman. From the 39. Deep drop for Bachmeier. He's hunting deep. It is picked off. Down by the 2, Ronald Wilson. As Boise State was going for the kill shot, instead life for the Lobos.
Bachmeier got a little bit locked in on the front side option of there. And Wilson was the backside safety who just was reading it all the way as kind of that center fielder. Watch where he comes from over there. That's Wilson. But the play is on the other side. See him running back to the free part of the middle part of the field. Bachmeier doesn't see him, thinks, oh, I can just lead him out in front. And Wilson falls right into it. That's a great play on the football, too.
Billy Bowens was the intended receiver. 3rd interception of the season for Bachmeier. And for Wilson, he had an interception last week on the first snap of the game, but now the problem for New Mexico is how deep in their own territory that they are.
It's been a struggle for him, too.
And then a flag down, and if it's a procedure penalty on New Mexico, really, what do they have
False
to lose?
start, number 54, offense. Half the distance to the goal, first down.
From the 2 to the 1.
It's actually not the worst place to try a hard count, try to get them off sides, get a free 5 yards for you. The risk reward isn't bad. You get a 5 yards. If you don't get it, your guy jumps off sides. You're only losing a little bit.
Wyson, the lone receiver, 1st and 11. Jones sidesteps near side, gets banged near the sideline. Dimitri Washington chased him out of bounds.
Nowhere to run. That's been a pretty consistent theme is New Mexico's ball carriers, wherever it's been, whether it's been a quarterback, whether it's been a back, just running kind of sideways. Really tough for them to get down the field. They haven't had many places to run. Nate Jones, that one, tried to use his speed to the edge, but this Boise State defense, pretty fast.
Sophomore from Bellflower, California, not much. Pickup of 2. 2nd down and 9. Kendrick has to get rid of it quickly. Rolls to the right, does toss. Finds Hullaby, loses it on the turf. Oh, Boise State had a chance to pick it up, and then a whistle. They're going to just rule it dead.
Yeah, I thought he was bobbling it. I was surprised there wasn't a whistle earlier, because it didn't really look like the ball was possessed. I think it was an incomplete pass. That was almost Miles Kendrick. I don't know if he realized those Boise State fenders were right on his tail. Yeah, he never had the ball. Hullaby just didn't catch it. A little bit behind him. And remember, the punt block was back here. Like, you'd love to get the first down, right? But you almost need some positive yards just to give yourself a little bit more breathing room for the punt on 4th down.
See how they approach it with the play clock winding down at just 2. Do get it off. Kendrick with time. Still examining. Flush far side. And Danny, you said needed to get some more yards for the punting unit. Well, Zeke Noah said, you're not getting much.
This was interesting route concept because every receiver on the outside just ran to the sticks and stopped, and we're trying to get, the 10 yards they needed, and no one was open. Kendrick's trying to find somebody. It might have been the best protection he's had all night. And that's fine as out. They're running right to about 11 yards, hooking it up, and they are blanketed in coverage.
Boise State's already blocked the punt, recovered it in the end zone for a touchdown. And Rodriguez get this one off.
I suggest he moves quick.
Does get it through. Space for Cobbs. He had a big one last season against UTEP. Steps out of bounds just before the 30-yard line. So Stephon Cobbs gives Boise State some great field position, already up 17 points. Trying to put the finishing touches as we revisit Cannell's Keys.
Right off the bat, Hank Bachmeier found his confidence, his rhythm. You got to give a lot of credit to some of his receivers who made great plays. Cole Wright did. And then the defense, they not only have kept Kendrick contained, they've been chasing him for his life all night long. You see the 3 explosive pass plays, they got 1. They had 2 more of those. We have a much more competitive game, right? And then holding Helani under 100 yards, they've done a really good job. It's been that Genty combination recently here in the second half, which has kind of been the backbreaker for New Mexico's defense.
Genty to start the drive. Marches past the 30 and upended at the 26. You said it, Danny, this Lobos defense strong throughout the game, but this is the part you're getting to the fourth. A lot of carries here in the second half where really any defense, no matter how good, will start to wear down.
They've been on a field a long time. They really have played a tough physical game. Now it just looks like some of the depth issues are coming to a head. Boise State's really starting to create some momentum, create some holes in space for the backs to run to. And a nice mix of run and pass.
Genty again. Crawls to near the first down. We'll see where they spot it. It looks close. Indeed, move the chains.
And with that Bachmeier interception, the last possession, as Andy Avalos looks on, I wonder if he had a talk with Tim Plow and said, hey, we've been running the ball pretty good. Let's just close this thing out and get on the plane and head back to Boise, and we'll look at the film and let's get out of here with a win. Be a little bit more conservative, use the play clock, let it run down.
There was some question as to whether Bachmeier would be the starter this week. About to move to 19-8 as the Boise State starting quarterback. Helani to the 15-yard line. Tonight's Red Zone brought to you by Verizon. Boise State much better when they've gotten to the red zone here today. Boise State stretch here on the road of 2 straight to begin the year. One of the rare things for a Boise State program to have 2 games away from the blue to begin the season. Bachmeier rolls out, 2nd down and 4. Riley Smith on the run. Lowers the shoulder inside the 10. Slung down by A.J. Odoms. Boise State first down. It's 1st and goal Broncos.
Now that's the nice mix of run and pass. It always is amazing how everything feeds off the run game. You're able to use it. Now you can do a little bootleg action. Come around, find a nice easy throw to a big tight end. It's a simple throw. It's high percentage because everyone's starting to pursue the rush. They want to stop the run. Been doing it, so it opens up so much in the pass.
1st and goal. Helani. He's still hunting for his first rushing touchdown of the season. Sets them up on the doorstep. So Boise State, these streaks Make sure they continue. Haven't lost a conference opener since 1999. That was in the Big West Conference, by the way. Since been in the WAC. Now here in the Mountain West. Mountain Division opponent on the road. That's impressive since 2016. That's 11 in a row. And then a New Mexico defeat. That only happened once. That was on the blue turf back in 2015. Inside of 7 minutes. 2nd and goal. Bachmeyer rolls out, tosses to Riley Smith. Tries to hold on and does. 3rd passing touchdown of the game for Hank Bachmeyer. And Boise State puts on an exclamation point.
Jarek Reed, you could hear pleading saying he didn't catch it. We'll have a look at it. Riley Smith, just a straight flat route. And he might be right. Jarek Reed, he was calling it. He was right there, had a bird's eye view, better than anybody else. I think that ball was on the ground. Have another look at it. This will be a good angle of that. And Smith got it. I think that ball's out. Yeah, that ball's out. That's an incomplete.
The ruling on the field of a catch for a touchdown is under review.
Remember Jarek Reed? We talked about how he's a heady player. He's smart. He was all over this, and I don't know how he saw it because he's on top of him right there, but he must have heard it or something. But great job in defense of that play.
We talked to Jarek Reed yesterday. I was impressed with his storytelling ability.
Yeah, he was a great personality. He really was. My favorite part when he said, hey, can you hook me up with a blue check mark on Instagram? That's all these guys worry about the most.
Get those followers up. I mean, one day maybe he'll have as many as you.
I don't know. He'll be way past me. Way past me. That ball was bobbling, right? I mean, that's pretty clear cut. That ball was bobbling. He secures it at the end, but that was the ground had it out and was bobbling.
That's your best look.
Yeah. And it's out, like he doesn't have it possessed in his hand.
Jarek Reed, by the way, was the model for the new red helmets that New Mexico is unveiling today for the first time in 42 years with the red tops.
What did he tell us the last time they wore it? Back in the 1900s.
That was hilarious. I'd never heard that.
Neither. He was right. He was accurate. 1973, but he made it sound like it was back when they had wagons on the road, horse and carriages.
And a Riley Smith touchdown being reviewed. Smith, a former quarterback, came to Boise State as a quarterback, made the tight end switch.
After review, the ruling on the field changed to an incomplete pass. It'll be 3rd down and goal on the 4-yard line.
First touchdown of the season is taken away from Riley Smith. He did have 3 last year, though.
He might have another opportunity here. They come to him a couple times on this drive.
.6:26 to go in the 4th. 3rd down and goal. I mean, up like this, is this a 2-play, hey, try to put the finishing exclamation
No,
point on
I think
it,
you take the field goal if you don't get it here. Unless you get really down inside the 1. I think you're going to take the points. Separate yourself.
Alani out wide here. In motion. Sweep it back to Latrell Caples. So the motion of the play goes one way, Caples goes the other, and sneaks into the end zone. Boise State does get that exclamation point touchdown.
Boy, another beautiful play call. Helani, you saw him. He brings so much attention. They kind of fake the pitch to him, but Caples coming from the other side comes back against the grain. He was tough to spot. for us up here with a bird's eye view, imagine how tough it is to see where that ball is. Where's Caples as a defender trying to cover him?
So Latrell Caples in the end zone again. And then the extra point tacked on by Jonah Dalmas. Boise State up 31-7. Started with Cobbs.
Yeah, it all started with Cobbs with a strong punt return, set him up in great field position. And then Bachmeier, the underneath pitch. Boise State started to pull away.
Twisted Tea fans love football, so we're surprising them with a Twisted Tea drop. We're kicking off game day with Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Cold, refreshing, and goes down smooth with 5% alcohol. Twisted Tea tastes like real iced tea because it's made with real brewed tea. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Keep it twisted.
These targeted ads are getting really creepy.
It's almost like Skittles is listening in on our conversation.
Game the rainbow, taste the rainbow.
Find your beat, your moment of calm. Find your potential, then own it. Support your immune system with a potent blend of nutrients and emerge your best every day with Emergency.
So with Geico, we can easily bundle home and car insurance and save even more?
Yeah, home, car, motorcycle, all bundled together. Just like that breakfast burrito.
So can I get chorizo?
Metaphorically, yeah.
Carnitas.
Just chicken. Just give me a bunch of chicken.
Oh, bacon?
Oh, wait, there isn't too much hot sauce, is there? I have a sensitive palate.
I actually like hot sauce. Can I get chips?
How about guacamole?
I don't really know what we're talking about anymore.
Burritos.
Okay.
For bundling made easy, go to geico.com.
The overtime went into overtime. What do? You turn to DiGiorno to be MVP. MV Pizza. Fresh baked taste. The win and move. It's not delivery, it's DiGiorno.
Fire it up, Randy.
That's how you make it. Like it never even happened, happen.
Serve Pro.
See you tomorrow.
College football on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Rogue. Don't weaken. By Sleep Number. Discover proven quality sleep only at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com. And by Reese's Peanut Butter Cups.
ABQ. Albuquerque, 31-7. Boise State on top of the New Mexico Lobos and had perhaps that game-sealing score with the pitch to Latrell Caples as Bachmeier has found Caples again. They've connected for 2 touchdowns. And Tim Plow and Hank Bachmeier can exhale a little bit. Don't want to go full Aaron Rodgers, RELAX, relax, but a similar feeling. You can hear the no, 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 but Christian Washington says yes, yes, yes! Christian Washington! I don't need to take a knee. I want 6. Touchdown, New Mexico! 100 yards.
I think he was saying go, go, go.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's go.
And he went, that's for sure. He's letting his guys know, hey, I'm going. And does he ever? Folks in the Jets picks up a nice block on the kicker as he takes it in the end zone. There is a penalty on the play for celebration after. Infused a little life into this New Mexico crowd. The bench is in there. And this, see, I think this is the difference Danny Gonzalez was talking about. This team's going to fight. Like, they might not have the most talented roster out there yet. They're young. They got a mentality. They're going to fight and claw till the end.
This is Luke Drizwicki in to kick the extra point. He kicked the last one as well. Remember, it was George Steinkamp who missed the field goal going into the half. So not no, no, no. Go, go, go. And Washington did indeed. Special team score each way in this game. take it to the house.
Leon the third, Leon the second, and Leon the first of them all. 3 generations who all bank differently with Chase. Leon's saving up for his first set of wheels. Nice try.
Really?
This Leon's paying for his paint job on the spot. And this Leon, as a Chase private client, he's in the south of France taking out cash with no ATM fees. That's because this family of Leons has Chase.
Actually, it's Leon.
Ooh la la. One bank for now, for later, for life. Chase, make more of what's yours.
I will do great things today.
I will do great things today. I did it! Great things today!
Allergies don't have to be scary. Defeat allergy headaches fast with new Flonase Headache and Allergy Relief.
2 pills relieve allergy headache pain.
And the congestion that causes it.
Flonase Headache and Allergy Relief. All good.
Since being the first to make wipers over a century ago, Trico has protected drivers in all kinds of weather. Torrential downpours, gale force winds, wintry blasts, even when it's raining cats and dogs. Hey, who came up with that phrase anyway? Just imagine if it actually started... All right. No matter what the conditions, Trico wipers maintain maximum windshield contact for safe, clear driving visibility. Be prepared for whatever Mother Nature throws at you with Trico wiper blades. Available at these retailers.
Are you going higher or lower? With Underdog Fantasy's Pick'em game, that's the only choice you have to make. It's easy, it's fun, and it's the best way to put more sweat in watching your favorite team. Get started today at UnderdogFantasy.com.
When safe drivers save for not answering their phone while driving, they feel like a big deal.
Did you get the ice?
Even if they forgot the ice. Save up to 30% on auto insurance with USAA Safe Pilot. Get a quote today.
Kick return for a touchdown for New Mexico, but still down on the scoreboard. Coming up next, our guys in the studio will bring you the latest headlines, get you all set for tomorrow's slate. Don't miss Inside College Football right here on CBS Sports Network. The wind has died down since the beginning of this half, where it just
like a mild tornado just through here, this rip through here in the third quarter. Some sort of front. Now it's like nothing happened.
Feels like it did in the first half. George Steinkamp kicking off. And this time it's for sure no.
Yes.
I'll get it at the 25. Old Trapper, beef jerky, player of the game, Hank Bachmeier.
Hey, this man had to compete for his starting job all week in practice, and what a way to come out and respond in a big way. Tim Plow said, hey, he's faced some adversity. Now he's got an opportunity to respond and show, and I tell you, his teammates look at him. They'll look at him a different way. All right, you've been through the fire. Now we're ready to go to battle weight. This is a big game for Hank Bachmeier.
Remember, he was benched in the second quarter. A 4-year starter at quarterback. Somebody who was in the conversation for all-conference first team. Didn't win it. Of course, Jake Hayner, the preseason did, the Fresno State quarterback. But it just goes to show you what a shock that was. Flag is down on this play for Bachmeier to be pulled in the first half and did not return in that game. Tim Plow, the offensive coordinator, said he knew within 6 plays, hey, this isn't the Hank Bachmeier I know.
Yeah, it was just off. It was really weird. I mean, hey, everybody has bad days. When you're a quarterback at a program like this, it's just on the biggest stage. Everyone's going to know.
I mean, talk about quarterbacks who started here for 4 years. It's a pretty good list.
Personal foul, number 75, offense, late to the pile. 15-yard penalty.
Man.
Still first down.
Chris, rule number 1, when you're running a 4-minute drill, end of the game is no stupid
Correction.
penalties.
The down counts. Second down.
I mean.
Well, he saw the football. That's why he dove on top of the pile, is he saw that ball was out.
You think? I don't know what he's thinking.
that first look, I saw a football. See ball, get ball.
I think that's what he's trying to plead for to the official. In any case, now you got 2nd and 20. You're trying to get first downs and milk out the play clock and get out of here.
Keeping on the ground, Genty finds 4 Lobos, still moves the pile forward. 3rd down and long.
And they are clearly in 4-minute mode here, trying to just run out this game. You got to get first downs. And you want to emphasize as a quarterback in the huddle, say, hey, make sure you secure the football, stay in bounds, and no foolish penalties. These are like the main talking points.
Interesting. You look at this Boise State offense the last 2 weeks. It looks similar, except that one category, turnovers. It just goes to show you how big of a factor that is.
Yeah, no doubt about it. They were careless turnovers. They were loose with the football, ball security. Secure those up, massive difference.
Genty on 3rd and 14. Carves up the field past the 25. Lewis on the stop for New Mexico. 4th down, that clock will continue to wind down, and
this is
New Mexico
still
to get another possession.
It's intriguing, you know. Boise State keeps going up 17, then they pull away to 24, then it's back to 17, and it just a lot of people, you know, watching this lead saying, man, no one's more interested in Andy Avalos, but you feel like a little more comfort up 24 than you do 17. A couple quick scores and start sweating it a little bit more.
Of course, coaches take a lot of pride of finishing the game on offense with that 4-minute drill, as you talked about.
Yep.
Wasn't a success there for Boise State. Wysong calls fair catch for New Mexico. They'll have the football down by 17. Boise State lost the opener. About 4 minutes away from bouncing back in week 2. UT Martin and UTEP before more conference games arrive.
That's a tough schedule. It really is. There's some good squads on there. Fresno State and Jake Hanner, we talked about him. Troy Calhoun's Air Force team is about as good as he's had in a while. I think they have a chance to run the table. I told you that before.
San Diego State, Fresno State, Air Force all in a row.
That's a brutal stretch.
Kendrick finds Wysong. The New Mexico staff was pretty adamant on making sure that Wysong can get as many catches and touches, but they also said he gained weight during the offseason. Here's New Mexico's schedule. You know, Wysong holding up through this schedule is a key, and that's why he put on those 22 pounds. Because there were times last year he would take a hit, be slow to get up, whether it's in a game or even in practice.
And they really noticed it as a blocking wide receiver in the run game, how much strength he had. Wasn't getting pushed around as much. And here's a
false start.
Penalty.
Number 54, offense. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
They've been getting beat so much all night. Adam Gay, number 54, there with the false start. There's a look at Luke Wysong. He still looks pretty good for putting on. Yeah, I wish I could put on that much weight and still look shredded. You know.
I mean, he played last year at 160.
Yeah.
Now listed 180. 2nd down, 13 to go. Kendrick, high floating pass that's nearly picked. Say Oladipo was the closest one to that, as Wysong again banged up. But for more on Wysong, let's go to Amanda.
Well, Danny, you were talking about the 20 pounds or 22 pounds that Luke Wysong put on. Not without a little pushing and prodding from his coaches. So last season he weighed about 165. And the coaches said, look, just because he didn't have mass, he was getting beat up super easily. They didn't play him in that last game because they wanted to keep him safe. That was all the motivation he needed over the summer to put on those 20 pounds.
Well, you can see him on the sideline. Thanks, man. It's still banged up after a couple of hits. 3rd and 13. Kendrick, a lot of dancing, and runs out of music. Lobo offense in week 1. Talked about their 21 points in the 2nd quarter against Maine, which was more than they scored in each of the final 10 games from last year. This is a different test. They hit on one explosive play. Danny, you talked about them needing to hit 3. They got 1. Their other touchdown came on special teams.
And even on that drive there, Boise State clearly was just saying, hey, you guys aren't going to drive the length of the field. We're not giving up a big play. And New Mexico just hasn't been able to really execute an offense the way you would want to.
Wysong, or make that Rodriguez on the punt. Stephon Cobbs hits the ground hard, but does hold on to the ball. 31-14, Boise State in control, 3 minutes left. Take a look at the AP Top 10. It's in Alabama and Texas, one of the marquee games tomorrow. Baylor and BYU, I'll have my eyes on that one.
Yep. USC taking that show on the road to Stanford. E.J. Smith, Emmitt Smith's son, running the ball for Stanford. And of course, USC with all that offensive firepower with Caleb Williams and Jordan Addison and Travis Dye, and the list goes on.
Be a fun week 2. These teams getting week 2 going on a Friday night. More George Halani. And again, with under 3 minutes left, trying to run out that clock. Again, with Halani, though, got to make sure he's healthy. He's, last couple of years, has missed 7 games. Some for a knee, others a hamstring. So I want to make sure, if you're on the Boise State side of things, he gets out of this without any nicks.
Yeah, and the one thing that popped, too, is they might, we've known about Halani. They might have a nice 1-2 punch with Ashton Genty coming off as well. Give Halani a spell and also another element in the pass game as well. He had a couple nice catches, but want some depth in that backfield, and it appears Boise State has it.
Multiple tight ends. 2nd and 7. Halani runs into a wall. All right, so Air Force, we mentioned them as a team, Danny, that you think is a contender, maybe even more than that here in the Mountain West. Here's your top group of 5 teams.
I do. Houston's great. They had a great performance against UTSA. What a fun game that was, the triple overtime win. I did not know UC, when we gave this graphic, UCF, I thought they would beat Louisville tonight. They did not, so it might change my perception of them. SMU with Rhett Lashley at the helm, they had a really nice win on the road at North Texas last week. Tanner Mordecai looks really solid for them.
We'll see UCF against FAU next week on CBS Sports Network. Genty on 3rd down is shy of the sticks. I checked that was second. No, that was 3rd down. So 4th down upcoming for Boise State. Another 40 seconds will run off the clock. New Mexico letting that happen as Boise State fans will head back to Boise with the team at 1-1 and perhaps stop, as you mentioned, the panic that was there after the opener.
Right. I mean, it was a rough year. 7-5 last season. It was not the opener anybody wanted, including Hank Bachmeier. It was really a nightmare start to the season. They can put that one in the rear view now.
And James Ferguson Reynolds has had a bounce-back performance. A lot of opportunities for him to get punts off. So Lobo's defense has been strong most of the night. One of Boise State's scores came on a block punt. So they have this 31-14 lead. Now going forward with New Mexico here, they had that opener, a lot of optimism coming after that, a 41-0 win. First shutout since 2015. Always knew that this would be a big and a tough second game. That's why Coach Danny Gonzalez made sure he said this wasn't necessarily a big game as much as it's a big opportunity at home with the Mountain West Mountain Division favorites coming to town.
I am not a believer in moral victories. You play to win, right? That's the only reason you play. And I think Danny Gonzalez would agree with that. But you have to feel like you're heading in the right direction, especially defensively. And they know they have their work cut out for them offensively. You've got to feel pretty happy with the way your team fought out there against a pretty good Boise State squad.
Could be the last play. New Mexico doesn't want to get another snap off. It was a rough opener for Boise State on the road against Oregon State. They head back on the road on a short week with a lot of questions surrounding the offense and quarterback Hank Bachmeier. They do enough to pause the panic and a 31-14 win against New Mexico. Two of the 5 Latino coaches in the FBS exchanging some dap after the game. I have to imagine this is a great feeling for Bachmeier. All the things that could have been in his mind going into this game.
And trust me, it is a confidence is so much to do with playing the quarterback position. His confidence was shaken after the Week 1 performance against Oregon State. Now he's got it all back just like that. What a relief it is for him to get back on the field. Now he can go back, start preparing for the rest of the season and feel like, okay, I proved myself, not only myself, but more importantly to my teammates and my coaches.
Big pile down there. Somewhere Amanda is with Andy Avalos.
We are down here with Coach Avalos. Congratulations on the win tonight. We're going to talk about your quarterback here in a second. But first of all, your entire team in general, how important was it for them to overcome adversity, come off that disappointing loss last week, and respond the way they did tonight?
Yeah, I mean, that's whether it's football or that's life. You got to be able to move forward. You got to learn from your experiences and grow forward. And you know what? My hat's off to them and the staff for how they came back. They flipped the switch, and we had a really good week of practice. And we improved in certain areas. We obviously got to keep getting better. There's things that we already know coming out of this game we want to get better. But we're going to celebrate this win on this short week and the team being, really resilient and sticking to our foundation and who we are and coming out here and getting the win tonight.
Somebody we saw that from, your quarterback, Hank Bachmeier, left that last game early. Weren't sure if he was going to start tonight. He ended up getting to start. How impressed were you with the way he responded?
Again, it wasn't surprising. We knew the challenges he was going to have out here today with the defense that we are facing. They do a really good job, but the way he practiced during the week, he just carried it over to what he did tonight, and he took what the defense gave him. We obviously got to keep working on the run game to get George and Ashton going there, but when Hank had his opportunities to do some things in the pass game, he just took what the defense gave him. So we're really proud of him for how he bounced back, and Taylor, both of them had really good weeks.
Congratulations on the win. Enjoy going home and playing at home next week.
Thank you. Go Broncos.
Andy Avalos, great stuff, Amanda. Boise State bounce back, 31-14. They win in Albuquerque. For Danny Cannell, Amanda Guerra, our entire CBS crew, I'm Chris Lewis. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. We now send you back to Brett and the gang in New York.
Well, that's got to feel good for Andy Avalos. Really good. And you could sense it in the interview. And I like what Chris Lewis said there towards the end of the telecast. You can pause the panic, at least for the moment, boys. And you know all about it, the expectations. And sometimes when your predecessors establish that, and now there's a certain expectation.
When you take over a program like that, that's to be expected. And I'm really happy for Bachmeier and his performance tonight. Wasn't great, but he bounced back, he got off the mat, and he led his team to a big-time win that they needed in terms of bouncing back from that really, really ugly loss against Oregon State.
And how about the offensive guy pointing this out to me in the stat sheet just a minute ago? 55.
Don't ever call me an offensive guy.
50, that's right. You're a head coach. My bad. 55 plays, 123 total yards for New Mexico tonight. What a bounce back game for this